on the gas. Down the sideline, one man to beat, and Isaac is in the end zone for a 53-yard touchdown. Down the far sideline, one man to beat, push down inside the 20. Pump fake, the senior steps up, throws it, it's intercepted. Picked off by Morrison, he's going to break to his right, it's a pick six.
Wow, he read that beautiful.
Handoff Jordan Ball on a stretch play, and he is going to find his way into the end zone. And it's a play action pass. Ogden going to air it out, he's got a man wide open, that's Ethan Wheeler. Morrison again, through the hole, look out. Snap, hold, kick, up, and good! Well, hello everyone, and welcome here to Exeter. Nick and Astis, Steve Beals with you, getting set for the 2024 NHIAA Football Division I State Championship game between the Pinkerton Astros and the Londonderry Lancers. Two neighboring towns, two long-time rivals, squaring off for all the marbles here on a gorgeous Saturday afternoon in late November. Both of these teams won on the road in the semifinal matchup to set up the first Astros-Londonderry final since 1993. And when we look at both of these head coaches, we have one that's a bona fide legend, the other perhaps a legend in the making. Brian O'Reilly guiding Pinkerton to his 20th championship game appearance. 11-9 is the overall record, 11-8 coming in. And again, Pinkerton looking for their first state championship since 2014. Londonderry, they have been here 5 of the last 6 years and hoping to lock down their third D1 championship under head coach Jimmy Lozon. So the electricity is in the air, the field is mobbed. And Steve, we may be in for an instant classic here this afternoon.
Well, if the semifinals were ever used as a trampoline to do that, those games that we did last week were absolutely phenomenal. It was clear that there was 4 football teams, after all, in Division I that deserved and were in those semifinals. And what games they were. Londonderry and Pinkerton, as you said, Nick, come out victorious in those. Not without a fight, though, on both of those games. And here they are today. I was able to talk to Coach O'Reilly a little bit before the game. And if he ever knows how to act relaxed or is relaxed, it's certainly one of the two. He looks ready to roll here, very excited about his young people, having an opportunity, was reminiscing about years past a little bit, Nick, and he's ready to go. As you could see, Jim Lozon last week, Nick, in that semifinal game, it was obvious the way he brought his team down the field in that fourth quarter to go in and score that young man is ready as well. This is legend in the making versus legend for decades. It's going to be a good one.
Let's send our attention down to the field for the national anthem.
Our broadcast today, as it always is brought to you by Beals Insurance Agency, with locations now in both Bedford and Londonderry. Whether you need home, auto, or business insurance, Beals Insurance will get you both the price and quality coverage that's right for you. Just call 603-471-9999 or visit BealsInsurance.com to request a free quote and start saving money today. Again, that's BealsInsurance.com. The New Hampshire Tomahawks promote the highest level of club lacrosse competition, not just in the state, but in the country. Looking to get recruited? Director Chris Cameron keeps an open dialogue with the nation's top college lacrosse coaches. Over 400 New Hampshire Tomahawks alumni have played at the college level, including the ACC, Big East, Big Ten, Ivy, NESCAC, NE10, and more. New Hampshire Tomahawks coaching staff has over 100 coaches, including current high school, varsity, and college coaches. The Tomahawks offer training for players of all ages, clinics, camps, and leagues, along with spring, summer, and fall elite teams. So play with the best. The New Hampshire Tomahawks, showcase and development for college lacrosse. Visit NewHampshireTomahawks.com and girls.nhtomahawks.com. How can you reach your team's fundraising goals at no risk and no cost? MG Sports offers a variety of products to make your team's fundraiser a success. Their products include discount tickets, cards, and calendar raffles to hundreds of local merchants throughout the New England area. Don't waste another season. Raise more funds than ever before and become another football program in New Hampshire that sets fundraising records every season. MG Sports, fundraising made easy. Visit mgsportsfundraising.com to start raising money for your team today. Colonial Printing is family owned and celebrating 50 years of quality print services for New Hampshire businesses and can help yours as well. Whether it's creative design, digital or offset printing, or banners and signs, with state-of-the-art technology, unlimited industry sources, and the ability to think outside the box, Colonial Printing will help you get your job done. To see their full list of services, promo products, and portfolio, or to request an estimate, visit colonialprintingnh.com. That's colonialprintingnh.com.
Well, there it is, the national anthem setting the stage here at Bill Ball Stadium as we get set for kickoff at the top of the hour. Londonderry and Pinkerton, a rematch from way back in week number 4. That was a big win for the Astros on the road in Londonderry. 38-15 was that final score. Fast forward nearly 2 months. As we mentioned, both teams on the road in the semifinals. Pinkerton handed Bedford their first loss in 2 years, ending the Bulldogs' 26-game win streak with a 27-13 victory to punch their ticket to the championship for the first time since 2018. Londonderry, meanwhile, won on this field at the last moment. It was a 32-yard field goal by senior kicker Blake Thompson at the buzzer that made the difference. 31-28 was the final score there. Captains meeting at midfield. Steve, your keys to victory for both teams.
Well, they're very similar, Nick. First thing you got to do, in my opinion, is if you're Londonderry, you've got to stop Matt Morrison at or behind the line of scrimmage. This guy's proved last week with the best of the best. If he breaks through, it's over. On the other side, you've got Adrian Cruz. What a player he has been. Has he come on incredibly in the end of the season? I would argue you've got to get the same situation with him. You've got to stop him behind the line as well, Nick. I really think also quarterback play here. How well do they manage the game plan that's coming very well designed from the sidelines? How well do they execute and perform? And the last thing is ball security when you in your own end. It's one thing if you give up the ball in the other end, but when you give it up in your own and create short fields of scores, teams of this quality, that can be the difference. It's that tight.
Well, there's the coin toss at midfield. Londonderry wins the coin toss and defers to the second half. So it appears that Pinkerton is set to receive the kick to open the game. Londonderry technically the higher seed. Both teams were 6-2 against in-state opponents in the regular season. However, due to the NHIAA opponent rating, Londonderry, despite losing the head-to-head matchup, ended up as the Central Conference champion and thus are the number 3 seed. Pinkerton had to settle for 4, played an extra postseason game, no problem. They're 3-0 in this tournament. So the Astros in the road whites, Londonderry in the home blues.
Yeah, to your point, Nick. Very well put. let's give NHIAA credit, though, Nick, and the whole football community in the state of New Hampshire for designing this system. Even though that may be the case, Londonderry is a home team, Nick. The opportunity for all of these teams that were in the making, are growing programs, to get involved in the preliminary round, quarters, semis, and now we're here, is really given a sense that who wins this game is the best football team in the state.
A 13-team field in Division I, thus an extra round, and thus this is the last championship affair statewide. Division 2, 3, and 4, those winners were announced last weekend. All right, we got a gorgeous afternoon. As we mentioned, the sun is out.
Beautiful.
Not a whole lot of wind. Temperature right now about 40 degrees, and it should stay in this temperature range throughout the afternoon.
Yeah, it's not like this balmy weather, Nick, where guys start perspiring heavy and lactic acid builds up in the muscles fiber, Nick. This is going to be one of those games where the best players on the football field are going to be able to get maximum playing time, and that's what this massive crowd on both sides of the field came looking for. So
you mentioned it. You see on the far side, red and white. That's the Pinkerton section. They've brought their band with them, and a standing student section as well. Londonderry dressed in blue and white on the near side, filling out this grandstand from left to right. And, of course, you've got the onlookers behind each end zone as well. Referee today is John Reardon, leading an experienced five-man crew. Blake Thompson, last weekend's hero for Londonderry, has the ball teed up at the 40-yard line. The dangerous Matt Morrison and Jamie Isaac, two track stars, are back deep. This is a line drive handled at the 15 by Morrison. The senior makes his way to his left, crosses the 20 to the 25, around the corner at the 30. Tap dancing along the sideline, and here goes Morrison. Still inbounds, still alive, and into the end zone for the touchdown. It's a 75-yard touchdown return by Morrison, and just like that, Pinkerton is on the board.
I can't believe, Nick, a line drive kick to Matt Morrison in the opening kickoff. And let me tell you, you just saw the speed right there. We're going to see it here on replay. Watch him do a quick little jab step inside, suck in the outside contain guy. Now watch it right here. This is how magnificent this young man, watch. Look at the quick turn up, and then he blasts outside, and with that, he was able to break that arm, attempting to tackle. I don't know who that was, and he takes it to the house.
Extra point up and good off the right foot of John Pappas, the junior kicker. Pinkerton putting an exclamation point on the game's opening play. I said 75. It was actually an 85-yard touchdown return by Matt Morrison. Pappas adds the extra point. It's 7-0 Pinkerton just 15 seconds into the game.
I guess one of the keys should have been added. You got to tackle him on special teams too, Nick, because what a great job of that quick little glance turn upfield, and it just forces that contain guy to kind of start the cut inside, and then he bounces it out. The stands over at the Pinkerton away crowd was on their feet, and the whole place was running on the sidelines.
Morrison, a 3-year starter, a 4-year member of this varsity squad. Missed some time towards the end of the regular season with a broken finger. Returned just in time for this tournament run, and he has made a difference. Had 3 touchdowns overall in the semifinal win over Bedford. And he's got a special teams kick return to his credit on the first play of the game here in his final high school game as a senior. So Pinkerton, they get the electric special teams play they were hoping for. They lead 7-0. And now Londonderry trying to fight their way out of a corner here early, just 15 seconds into the game.
Yeah, Londonderry's got to get some good blocking up front, Nick, and get some good field position for Coach Lozon to get his offense going so they can have the best chance they can to answer back.
Pappas with a long one. It's over the shoulder of the return man, Cruz. It takes a couple of hops into the end zone for a touchback. So here comes the Londonderry offense, led by 2-year starter, senior Sam Ogden, listed at 5'10", 175 pounds. And as we know, Ogden, a dual threat, can run, can throw.
Can do it all.
Can do everything in between.
Absolutely, Nick. He is a spark plug. He and Cruz are spark plugs for this team, Nick. But don't underestimate how important that unbelievable offensive line that they have to open up holes. They're going to need to do against this tremendous defense. Two key players to watch today are Caruso at defensive end and Villa on blocking. They need him to block the point guy as he comes across the line of scrimmage, Nick. He did a phenomenal job last week against Exeter.
On 1st and 10 from the 20. Ogden may have just changed the play.
He's
in the pistol. Pinkerton with a 4-man front showing blitz. They hand off to Cruz. The junior is going to get swallowed up in the hole. Straight ahead run, but nothing there. David Souther comes out of the second level to make the stop. Just a gain of 1, brings up 2nd and 9.
Well, we talk about Spellman, the linebacker core, Nick, of the Pinkerton Astros, and Spellman, Quintilani, and number 10, Osanya. These guys get it done. They read so well.
3-man front now for the Astros. Londonderry with a tight end left. 2 backs with Ogden out of the gun. Senior to his right. Tries to spin away from one man, and then Osanya buries him in the backfield.
Wow.
Tackled back at the 15. It's a loss of 6. Joseph Osanya, the junior, able to get some penetration there. It brings up 3rd and long.
Yeah, when you can get contained, Nick, to force that run inside and then flood the tackling zone to green space. See, he gets the contain, and then look at that. Osanya right in there, Quintilani in there, and number 53 finishes it off. Aaron Parker. They are motivated. The Astros are on fire right now, Nick.
Officially a 3rd and 13 on the way. First down marker at the 30. Londonderry hoping to avoid a 3-and-out. Ogden rolls out, eyes downfield, throws on the run, in and out of the hands of Paquette, incomplete.
Yeah, surprised he didn't tuck and run that one, Nick. He did have some good field space if he could have got a block from the intended receiver. But he decided to throw it. Looked to me like he had some room and had some area there to make a bid at it. But 4th and 13, deep in your own zone, there'll be a punt here.
So Pinkerton, they get the opening kick return, 85 yards to the house from Morrison, and the Astro defense able to force a 3-and-out. So Alex Villa, the 6'4" senior, stands at his own 5-yard line, awaiting the snap here. 2 men back deep for Pinkerton. High kick down the middle, the dangerous Morrison from his own 48. Across midfield, spun down from
nice
behind.
tackling.
On a good tackle from Mason Bicchieri, the junior for Londonderry. So, Coach O'Reilly likes this. His team takes over with a 7-0 lead. The offense onto the field for the first time, starting at the Londonderry 49-yard line. And the Astros, led by junior quarterback Aiden McDonald, get right to the line of scrimmage. 2 receivers short side right against the 3-man front. On 1st and 10, a quick throw, and this one incomplete.
Yeah, intended for Caruso. Just trying to turn to the outside, and you can see there's a little bit of communication there. Looks like Aiden is telling him that he needed to turn on the inside, Nick. So a little miscue right there. You're going to see he turned to the outside and then was a little late turning inside. So
that brings up 2nd and 10. Again, Pinkerton gets right to the line. Gun formation. Quick throw. It's Morrison in the flat. Tries to break to the outside. And is pushed from behind, out of bounds by Villa. Only a yard or 2 downfield. So that'll bring up a 3rd down and long. A chance again for Londonderry now to come up with a win here on defense. Just 2 minutes gone by first quarter.
Yeah, Alex Villa, and what a player he is. And number 7, Anthony Caruso. These guys are...
3rd down and 9. McDonald steps up, throws, and that is caught.
That's a big play.
Cam Dillon able to spin and bring that one in with his back turned towards the defense. Makes the catch at the 37-yard line. That's an Astro first down.
Well, you've called his name more and more as the year went on when we were covering Pinkerton, Nick, in the games. He has a way of checking in.
12-yard catch brings up 1st and 10. Morrison back to work on the ground.
And that's exactly what...
Spun down at about the 31-yard line, a gain of 6, 2nd and 4.
That's exactly what Coach O'Reilly wants, those, 2nd down and 4s, 2nd 3s, 2nd 5s. That's what this wing offense is all about. When you've got runners like he's got,
And again, right to the line of scrimmage. 2nd and 4. McDonald going to scramble to his left. Got some room to run. Inside the 30, 25, 20 to the outside 15. Ridden down just shy of the 10. Tackled eventually by the Lancer linebacker Colby Walden, but not before another big gain on the ground for Pinkerton.
Well, you're going to see right here, Aiden McDonald, terrific in the pocket. Looks like there's a penalty, though. It's coming back. What a terrific job. And he got a nice outside block there, but not to be, as it looks like there's a holding call.
And the flag is down at the 25-yard line. It'll be the first penalty either way.
Londonderry will take that, Nick. That's a big call right there.
5-man crew, referee John Reardon, the umpire Paul Smith, Michael Murphy is the head linesman, the line judge Raleigh Juanitos, and the back judge is Jeff Isabel. So after the hold, sets up Pinkerton with a 2nd down and 8 from the Lancer 35-yard line.
What's going on here?
And now more chatter between the officials.
I'm wondering if it's the placing of the ball, Nick, that they're having a discussion about. And they want everybody in. Oh, it looks like they've come to a decision. Yep, they're going to go with it. So I think they may have been checking where they placed the ball, Nick, as it related to the penalty. Not sure. Might have been allowing a substitution as well.
2nd down and 8. 4 receiver set. Again, McDonald against the 4-man rush. Steps up, throws one deep.
Whoa,
and there is
throw.
Dillon. Touchdown. A 35-yard strike through the air as Aiden McDonald had plenty of time.
What a throw.
Cam Dillon, his 2nd grab on the drive, ends up in the end zone. Pinkerton with a 13-0 lead.
Well, Coach O'Reilly's been saying it all year, Nick. We've had him on our Gridiron show. And he said, look, I can pass if I need to pass the ball, and the running attack is lethal as well. This team is loaded with all kinds of options, and when you got an arm like Aiden McDonald, you saw it right there.
Pappas is 2 for 2 on the extra point tries. In less than 3 minutes into the game, it's a 2-touchdown affair. Matt Morrison took the opening kickoff to the house, 85 yards. The Pinkerton Astro defense forced a 3-and-out. And then a long run from McDonald. Some of that called back on the hole, but that sets up the 35-yard touchdown toss. McDonald to Dillon. Pinkerton making it look easy in all 3 phases here through the first 3 minutes.
Yeah, and it's not easy. They just, like you said, they make it look easy, but it's not. These are 2 great football teams going at it. And he just elevated that pass so well, Nick. We had one on our highlights reel that we had of the games last week where you saw him throwing deep in Londonderry, in the Londonderry-Pinkerton game, where he threw it deep. He's got a great way of placing a nice arc that drops down in the bed basket over the outstretched hands of the defensive backfield. And they did that last game, and that if that's any indication there, Nick, they're going to have to get those defensive backs further back. The problem is you got to defend that great run. They have an offense that's loaded.
Pinkerton, 7-2 overall during the regular season. That included a Week 1 out-of-state victory at Andover. And a 3-0 start. They made it 4-0 when they beat Londonderry at Lancer Park convincingly, 38-15. Caught 2 losses in a row after that, but rebounded with 3 straight regular season wins to close out the schedule. And as we mentioned, tournament wins already against Merrimack, Wyndham, and defending champion Bedford. Getting a dream start here at a neutral site. 14-0, less than 3 minutes in. And as we see there on the kick, one of the up men for Londonderry, Colby Walden, simply took a knee after pulling that line drive out of the sky at the 31-yard line. So that is where drive number 2 begins for Londonderry.
Well, Ryan Ray's Jamboree, Nick. We saw this team at the Jamboree, and obviously everybody's just kind of turning on the switches in the beginning there, but you could see the athletes and the toughness of this Pinkerton Astro team in that Jamboree.
Handoff Cruz on 1st and 10. The junior going to swim upstream.
Oh, nice run.
Gains the 35 and then keeps those legs churning before Osanya and Souther combine to stop him at the 38-yard line. That's a game of 7 on 1st down.
Yeah, Cruz and lose are not synonymous, Nick. That guy, he fights to win every single time he gets the football. He's a He's a spark plug with ether sprayed on it. He is something else. And, boy, did he fight. And what I like about that, Nick, is he stayed square and he held the ball. A lot of ball security there in that run. But he just fought for an extra 4 or 5 yards. They're going to need that to dig themselves out of this deficit. What they need right now is to get some points in the board with a methodical drive down the field.
Trips right with Cruz to the top of the screen. Ogden on 2nd and 3 is going to put the junior in motion, fake the handoff, go up the middle, but he's met with resistance. Pinkerton with 2 defensive linemen there, including the senior Caden Morrow. Going to hold Ogden to just a 2-yard gain that brings up 3rd and 1.
Well, that play is designed to just completely flood the zone as a decoy to try to get the defensive backs and the outside linemen and then the backside corner. To start retreating. And what a great job, Pinkerton, the discipline they had to stay home. They didn't buy it.
Lancers looking for their first down. 3rd down and 1. 5-man front for Pinkerton. Fake handoff, Ogden, a pitch. This is Carson Palma racing to the stick, and he gets there for the first down.
The Lancers really needed, Nick, that first down. They're coming hard, but as long as you execute them, all of a sudden the incline starts to flatten out a little bit, and they can begin working the ball. Coach Lozon is a master. As soon as he gets over the 50-yard line into the opposition territory, he knows how to opens up his playbook, applies a little more risk, and that just makes it more difficult for the defense to hold.
Palma with his first carry, it goes for 3 yards, and it sets up Londonderry with a fresh set of downs, 1st and 10. From their own 43. Cruz in motion. They fake to him. Ogden not going to get much. That whole snap shut quickly as he crosses the 45. May have got 3 there.
Yeah, you're going to see on the replay here, Nick, the separation. Great job that the defensive linemen. Watch how they're separating themselves here. Watch, they'll release off of the line. Look at 1, 2, 3. Spellman's in on it to fill as he's supposed to do. Great job by the defensive line. Working off those offensive blockers to create opportunities for themselves to hold their gaps and their great linebacker core to fill.
Member of that linebacking core, Dylan Lake, with his first tackle, the senior. 2nd down and 7. Ogden back in the pistol as we approach the midway point of this first quarter. Lancers trailing 14-0. Ogden rolls to his right, going to unleash. This one is deep for Paquette, but overthrown.
What a throw.
And incomplete.
Yeah,
that's Isaac in on the coverage. Paquette may have gotten a step there, but that one sailed on the young quarterback.
Well, I think you look at Isaac, and he did a great stealth job like all cornerbacks are supposed to do. Watch, if you can see him down the field, he's kind of restraining. He's got body position, and that's key. Isaac was able to restrain the receiver to getting down and run his full route, and he did. He was looking back the whole time he was doing that. You'll see, look back. And that's why the pattern didn't finish itself there. Great work by Jamie Isaac. Great pass as well by Ogden.
3rd and 7. The first down marker is at the Astro 47. And Londonderry is going to have to use a timeout here. Well, something not quite right. Coach Lozon going to meet his players on the field.
Yeah, I don't think he liked the defense that was lining up there, Nick, to be honest with you. I think he's looking for an opportunity to – he understands how important this answer-back session, the time frame is in the game.
Pinkerton, a 14-0 lead. Opening kick taken to the house by Matt Morrison. Opening possession for Londonderry capped off with a 35-yard touchdown from Aiden McDonald to Cam Dillon. Londonderry responding here, facing an upcoming 3rd and 7 midway through this first quarter. Nick and Astis, Steve Beals with you. A tale of 2 schools here, both on the short list of contenders, year in and year out in Division I. For Pinkerton, they've won 11 state championships under 48-year man Brian O'Reilly, their last coming in 2014. And Londonderry, after winning championships in both D2 and D1 in the 80s and 90s, it had been a while until Coach Lozon brought them back in 2019. And since then, well, this is their 5th trip in 6 years to the finale.
Think about how hard.
Hoping to get there first since 2021.
How well you've got a coach to do that.
They've been here now 4 straight. And as I mentioned, 5 of the last 6. Quick
nice
throw,
pass.
and there's the catch. It's a first down for Londonderry's Noah Rayau. He's usually a star defensively. They bring him in here on offense. Makes a big third down catch down to the Astro 35.
Well, what a great play call. It was worth the timeout, Nick, in that situation. I think what they noticed is that Pinkerton was getting aggressive, coming up, stepping up first time. So what they do is they just throw kind of a little bit of a deeper cross pattern. Not 5 yards, around 12, 13. And Ogden just fired a strike. And the big thing there is you'll see on the replay, they gave him great time and a nice pocket to throw out of.
First completion for Ogden after coming up empty on his first 3 attempts. He's got his team now in enemy territory at the Pinkerton 35. They call his own number, and the quarterback is stuffed.
Yeah.
Nowhere to go. Aaron Parker leading the charge up front. The linebacker, Dino Savas, in the area as well for Pinkerton. A 1-yard gain, 2nd down and 9 on the way.
Doing a great job shutting down the middle, and these aren't against any average offensive line here, Nick. You've got some Division I athletes moving on, and you've got some supporting actors here who are not far behind. They are terrific, and that it just shows you how good this defensive line really is. That middle 3 are just tremendous, and Caruso does a great job out on the edge.
Of course, the big nose is John Hanlon, the senior, one of the captains. We're going to run right at Hanlon this time, and a little bit of room for Ogden inside the 30 before it's all said and done, down to the 28. It's like about a yard, maybe a yard and a half shy. That brings up third down and short.
You're going to see right here in the replay, Waldron, they just got a nice little seam for him to run 52 in there in the action blocking as well. Cooper Freitas, what a great job. And that's what Londonderry needs. This is the sort of methodical drives that they need. Some time sucking, get the offense on the field, give that defense a rest. Good job.
3rd and 2, coming up on 4 minutes to go, first quarter. It's a pitch. Cruz hesitates, now turns on the gas, but is tripped up in the corner.
Spellman.
That is the sophomore Brady Spellman. Had a big game on defense a week ago. Pumps his fist here in celebration. That brings up 4th and 2.
Well, he was on Brody Helton, Nick, most of the game, spying on him when they put him out on the flare pattern, and just kind of taking a look at him on every single play, keying on him. And he did a tremendous job. There was one play in the 4th quarter, I remember, where he kind of did one of those roll tackles, and he just stopped him right in the tracks. And that was indicative of how they held on to win that game, decisively in that last 4 quarter. They had the gas and they had the big plays to get it done. Spellman's a core part of that.
We may see a quarterback change here on 4th and 2. They're going to bring in the big man.
Yep. What a
That's
tool.
Alex Villa, 6'5", 215-pound senior.
But don't let him kid you. He can throw it.
Going to take the snap, going to go straight up the middle. He's got a first down and then some. Breaks a tackle at the 20. Still alive at the 15 before he's finally escorted out of bounds. Alex Villa bringing in the muscle for the 4th and short, and it pays off for the Lancers.
You said that, Nick, and let me tell you, the thing about it is, believe it or not, that's a junior playing out there. They got this man.
Senior.
Alex Villa?
Yep.
I thought Alex Villa was a junior.
No, he's been around. And again, he gets it done there. Broke about 3 tackles on that right side.
Thank you for that, Nick. That was, I thought he was a junior.
Well, the Lancers wish he was a junior.
Yeah, okay. Who wouldn't want to see that guy come back?
Of course, he was in that 4-quarterback rotation a year ago for Coach Lozon. And has taken snaps here and there,
what a
including
nice
on that
pitch
last
by
one.
Ogden.
Here is Palma down to the 10. For he's fanned down by Osanya. Great timing on that pitch. Will bring up 2nd down and 5.
Yeah, we've seen other teams try to run various types of pitch plays from the option to just a straight pitch. Ogden's just so nifty at it, Nick, and his running backs are just very well trained to face the quarterback and give him a large radius to pitch the ball to. Ogden does not lose his cool when he's in traffic either. That was just a terrific job, and they needed that right there as they approach the end zone, the end line here.
Ball at the 11-yard line. 2nd down and 5. Out of the pistol, they fake the pitch. Ogden to his right. Going to be dragged down by Morrison inside the 10 at about the 8-yard line, about a yard or so shy.
Yeah.
So another 3rd and short coming up on the drive for Londonderry.
You're going to see Morrison made a touchdown-saving tackle right here. He sliced himself in and he knifed his way in. Watch him. And as he goes through, he just gets the leg and trips him up. Without that, there was nobody there left to stop him. So big play now. They can get a first down. They have it.
Well, they did give him the first.
That's what I mean. They have it, yeah.
So from the 7-yard line, it's 1st and goal. Again, a fake pitch. Again, a right side run. And this time, Ogden ends up in the end zone.
Got ourselves a football game here.
That is the response that Londonderry needed. They have a multi-play drive that ends in 6. Makes this thing a one-score game again.
Yeah, Coach Lozon feeling very satisfied. And it's more than just a touchdown. That's obviously the goal, Nick. What he's satisfied is about is his offensive line was able to control the line of scrimmage. As they gradually work downfield, they gain strength, and that's what these drives can do. A long pass, touchdown run's one thing, but when you can work it down the field and keep their defense on the field, that's a big thing, especially in high school football where players play both ways.
Extra point from Thompson, up and good. And it's a 14-7 game. Londonderry.
And the bubbles are flying.
They kept that drive alive with a 4th down conversion. An 11-yard gain for Alex Villa. And a few plays later, it's the starting quarterback, Sam Ogden, ends up in the end zone after a 7-yard run.
Yeah.
So Londonderry right back in this one, trailing 14-7.
Yeah, I take this drive all the way back to the play where things look pretty dark and grim, and Cruz just pounded out that 7 yards on the initial first couple plays there. That was key because what it showed is I'm not going to give up. That's the emotional lift you kind of need when things just don't seem going like they're going great for you. And to me, once they got past the 50-yard line, the offensive line gained strength, started firing out better, hitting their blocks more square, and they weren't getting the same separation they were in the beginning part of the game. So that's a big, big touchdown. 14-7, it's within one score.
Londonderry's Brady Fragala, 6'1" senior, going to handle the kick here. As we know, his classmate Blake Thompson handles the field goal tries. This one is short down the middle, handled by Londonderry's Jimmy Knudsen. The junior ends up over the 30 up to the 34-yard line.
Well, when you come back and score like this, Nick, it's critical now for Pinkerton to hold their own because that's how these games, we saw it last week in both games, Nick, where there was a lead got and then all of a sudden the team that was down fought their way back. So this is a big time here for Pinkerton. Things have been rolling for them pretty well, and we'll see how this offense can work the ball down the field.
You mentioned the early starts for these teams last week in the semifinals, both on the road. Both scored the first 21 points of the game on their way to victories.
What a catch.
On first down, it's a high grab for Caruso. The defender Palma around his waist. Ends up with a 5-yard gain on first down.
You watch here. I'm not sure that wasn't meant for Quintilani, but the 6-foot-plus frame, look at that. I think that might have been for Quintilani over, and he just went up and speared the thing. Maybe, maybe not, but you're going to see it from this angle.
There's a deep throw on second down. Jump ball and overthrown. Trying to find Isaac down the field, and that'll bring up a 3rd and 6.
Wow, they're really they have a lot of faith in this offensive line because they're sending Quintilani, who's a great blocker as well. They're sending him out on pass patterns.
Third down.
Yeah, big third down.
Again, a chance for the Lancer defense to force a 3 and out. Pinkerton hoping to find the first down stick at the 44. McDonald, man in his face, hit as he throws, and that is incomplete.
Yeah, hit by number 58 right as he was throwing the ball. You'll see this on replay. Colby Walden, take a look. You're going to see it here. Colby just busts through the line and then gets in his hands. He may have even ticked the football to deflect it wide. You're going to see right here. What a great job getting off of that block and hitting that throwing arm. And yes, that's what deflected the ball, so it was uncatchable. So
a 4th down and 6. Walden, one of Londonderry's better all-around athletes. He's perhaps their best lacrosse player in the springtime. Makes a big defensive play on 3rd down. So Pinkerton forced to punt on 4th and 6. It's a high one. No problem on the handle for A.J. Scholes. The junior gets off a good one.
Yeah, good kick.
Fair catch made by Paquette at his own 30-yard line. So Londonderry, their defense rises to the occasion. They get the stop they want. And now potentially a chance to tie the football game here with just over a minute to go in this first quarter.
Yeah, Paquette, sure-handed. Boy, did he have a big play for them in the fourth quarter last week. Rolled over the tackler. Only hands touched the ground. No knees, no hips, no forearm, nothing. And everything just kind of froze, but the officiating staff knew that he didn't touch the ground. Play went on. He ran it all the way down to what, Nick? Was it?
I think the 6-yard line.
6-yard line, and was a critical play in that offensive drive that helped them win the game over the very good undefeated previous to that Blue Hawks.
Handed Exeter their first loss on a 32-yard field goal at the buzzer to advance to their 5th championship game in 6 years. Cruz zigzags his way up to the 40. On 1st and 10, going to pick up 9 to set up a 2nd down and 1. So Cruz, who was well over 100 yards a week ago in that win over Exeter, starting to get his momentum going here in this first quarter.
Just mind and attitude over the circumstances with a lot of guys right there, and he just has a tremendous ability to just cut and break ankles even in the interior, not even on the edge. He can do it anywhere. Terrific runner.
Inside of 30 seconds, first quarter. 2nd down and 1. Playbook wide open. You're going to stick to the ground game. Up the middle goes the quarterback. And again, Ogden with a good rip. He's up to the 48-yard line for another Londonderry first down.
This offensive line, Nick, is doing a terrific job. Look at them. They're holding their blocks better. You can see it in front of you right there. It's not just Binder and the Kucha show. The whole group is getting it done, and what a turnaround from when the way they were blocking in the beginning of the game, and they're feeling good right now. They have an opportunity to go down and tie this game up.
That'll do it for the first quarter. Pinkerton got out to the early 14-0 lead. Londonderry, though, surging with the football when we come back. You are watching the 2024 NHIAA Football Division I State Championship here on Friday Night Lights, New Hampshire. We're broadcasting in conjunction with the NFHS Network.
Our broadcast today, as it always is brought to you by Beals Insurance Agency, with locations now in both Bedford and Londonderry. Whether you need home, auto, or business insurance, Beals Insurance will get you both the price and quality coverage that's right for you. Just call 603-471-9999 or visit BealsInsurance.com to request a free quote and start saving money today. Again, that's BealsInsurance.com.
First and 10, Londonderry, as we begin this second quarter, and Adrian Cruz is wrapped up for a loss. That's A.J. Scholes celebrating in the backfield. Makes a big play there for Pinkerton. It's a loss of 1. That'll bring up a 2nd down and 11. If you're just joining us, the Astros scored on the first play of the game. Matt Morrison took the opening kickoff to the house, 85 yards for the touchdown. And then the Astro defense held Londonderry to a 3-and-out. First official drive for the Pinkerton offense ended in 6. A 35-yard touchdown strike from McDonald to Cam Dillon. And then late in that first quarter, Sam Ogden ignited the offense with a 7-yard touchdown drive for Londonderry. Their defense then forces a 3-and-out. And here we are, drive number 3 for the Lancers on 2nd down and 11. Carson Palma is into Astro territory down to the 48-yard line, but a 3rd and long on the way.
Yeah, I don't want to take away on the previous play. A.J. Scholes, what a great job getting in. What a nice read there. This linebacker core is deep, Nick. Coach O'Reilly has the opportunity to put a lot of different guys in and give some guys rest in between. But I have a funny feeling if they get within 3 or 4, Nick, if they don't get a first down on 3rd here, my guess is the green light is on.
The first down marker is at the Astro 41. 3rd down and 7. Empty set, long count here for Ogden. Man in motion is Cruz. They fake to him. It's a receiver screen. Paquette
what a pickup.
is met immediately by the linebacker, Dylan Lake,
Wow.
who eventually brings him down at the 46, well shy of the first down marker. Going to bring up a 4th and 5.
Yeah, Dylan Lake, the 6'1 senior, just coming in. He's getting Coach O'Reilly defensively. He's getting a lot of production out of a lot of different players, Nick, and that always bodes well as far as is having some gas in the tank for the second half. Every time you can get a player off the field is important, but when you do that and the player that comes in steps up and makes plays like that, it makes things better. What a big play here.
4th down and 5. Londonderry going to go for it. 4 receivers. Cruz in motion. Hard count here. Astros crowding the line. Nobody jumped. It was close.
Look for
Coach Lozon looking for a flag, not going to get one.
Yeah.
And now he will because it's a delay of game against his team.
I was just going to say, you're really looking for a little decoy here, trying to get somebody to jump, grab that 5 yards, make it 4th and 1, and then, of course, you'd go. But 4th and 6, 7, Nick, is just too much to
4th and 11 after
4th
the
and
penalty.
11 after that, right, yes.
That's the first infraction against Londonderry. We saw a 10-yard hold against Pinkerton back in that first quarter. And that's been it. Relatively clean so far in this first half. 2.5 gone by, second quarter. And on this 4th and 11, Londonderry will punt the football for the second time as Alex Villa is standing at the far hash on his own 36-yard line. Again, 2 speedsters back deep for Pinkerton, Morrison, and Isaac.
Well, this
is a high kick down the middle. Isaac not going to call a fair catch, makes the grab inside the 25, dances to his left, and he's up to the 30 before he's dropped by a couple of Londonderry special teamers, including Cody Gray, the senior.
Yeah, good containment here. Watch. Isaac wanted to shoot the edge, go off on the outside, Nick, and the containment was terrific. You're going to see him when he catches it here. He does that a lot. He fakes a lot right. See, he had to turn inside because the contained man was there, number 3 for Londonderry. Matt Luongo, what a great disciplined job. That's why they were able to shut it down.
1st and 10. Handoff, Jamie Isaac. The first time the track star has held the ball in his hands today. He's tackled at the 35, and a flag comes in late.
Yeah, I'm not sure that both are saying each other. I don't know if that was if there was a hold there or what.
Londonderry seems to think it's against Pinkerton.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't see any holding there, but that doesn't mean there wasn't.
It's a block in the back against the Astros.
That makes more sense. I was looking for holding.
So that's the second penalty against Pinkerton.
And
they're going to mark it off from the 37.
These penalties add up, Nick.
That's 2 for 20 now against Coach O'Reilly's squad. Speaking of Brian O'Reilly, 48 years on the job. Took over as head coach in 1977. Took over as the athletic director a few years back. He's won 11 state championships. He's been runner-up 8 times. Hoping for ring number 12 here this afternoon if his squad can hang on. They lead at 14-7. After the penalty, 1st and 15, and look out. A bobbled snap.
They got it back.
McDonald, fortunate, able to drop on it for Pinkerton. It may have been Quintilani, who recovered it. But either way, no gain on the play and 2nd and long on the way.
So Londonderry done a methodical job here of just stopping that 14-0 run, fighting their way down the field, get 7 points. And you just kind of get a feeling right now, Nick, that it's kind of even here, back and forth. We'll see who makes the next break on this, but it is 2nd and 15 or 14?
2nd and 15.
15.
McDonald back under center. Handoff Morrison, left side run up to the 30 before he's tripped up.
Nice stop.
That's Rayo, the sophomore. Had a catch on offense earlier. Comes up with his first tackle out of the secondary for Londonderry.
And it's a big one because if he breaks that tackle, Nick, he's going all the way back to the safety. Probably close, if not getting a first down. So that was a big tackle right there.
Still ends up as a 6-yard gain for Morrison. And now a 3rd down and 9 coming up. Morrison just 2 carries for 12 yards.
Wow, this place is jammed, Nick. Look at it. They're 2-3 deep all the way around the field.
Folks still filing in from the parking lot as well. On 3rd and 9, Morrison is dropped in the backfield by the Londonderry sophomore linebacker, Davis Majarian.
Yeah.
He had a big game in the win over Exeter a week ago. Makes a huge play on 3rd down here to force an upcoming punt.
Yeah, he's not the least bit affected by the fact that he's a sophomore or the pomp and circumstance of this event, Nick. He just shows up. He was incredible last week in the semifinals game, and already here into the beginning of the second quarter, midway through, he's making a mark already. That was a huge tackle and a great job wrestling behind the line.
It was a loss of 4. 4th down and 13. Second punt for Scholes is going to take a roll towards the far sideline and end up inside the 30.
Very productive kick there.
So the Astros started their drive at the 30. And now Londonderry will trot on their offense to take over from the Lancer 30-yard line as we approach the midway point of this second quarter. Pinkerton held a 14-0 lead, scored just 15 seconds into the game on an 85-yard touchdown return on the opening kickoff by Matt Morrison. First Astro possession ended in 6 as well. McDonald to Dillon from 35 yards out. Final 2 minutes first quarter. Londonderry got on the board with a Sam Ogden 7-yard run. It's been a game of field position really since then.
Without a doubt.
And now Londonderry again a chance to march down the field before halftime and potentially tie or take the lead.
But that was an impressive stop by Londonderry.
1st and 10, Ogden going to air it out, looking for Ethan Wheeler, and he makes the catch. He's inside the 35 down to the 33-yard line.
Well,
a 38-yard gain through the air, and that is the longest play from scrimmage either way.
You're going to see here, Ethan boxed him out. He had his shoulders turned. He waited and maintained body position, did not overrun the ball on his pass route. Ogden put it up high. And watch him. He just shields him out. What a great reception. Londonderry putting some big plays together here on offense the last 3 drives.
Wheeler able to get the inside position on the defender, Cam Dillon, and hauls it out of the sky for a 38-yard pickup. It's 1st and 10 Londonderry at the Astro 34. Cruz repositions himself behind Ogden. They fake to him. Sam goes up the middle. Senior spun down in the hole by Osanyo, who was quietly racked up a handful of tackles for Pinkerton in this first half.
Sam, not a big guy, but he runs with strength, Nick. He runs hard. You saw the collision right there. He more than held his own. Like to get 4 yards on that, but boy, if you get a strong 3 like they did, it does set up some other plays as they move on their way down. That they've had good field position, and when they haven't, Nick, they've got out of it very quickly in the last 3 drives and done a good job.
2nd down and 7. Ogden looks over his left shoulder. Coach Lozon flashes the hand signals. 2 receivers each side with via the wing to the left as well. They hand off to Rayau.
Oh, what a tackle.
He is chopped down. Sophomore on sophomore crime there.
Guess who there?
Yeah, it's Spellman who shoots in through the gap and makes the tackle about 2 yards deep in the backfield.
He's good a tackler as anybody on the football field as far as I'm concerned, Nick. He's gifted. I don't know if he's a wrestler or not, but he's got that same... he's got the build that's low, and then he's got that low center of gravity. He's going to come off the field and take a rest for a moment, but he has been vital to them through these playoffs especially. We saw him in the earlier when Matt Morrison was down to go in and be the primary running back against Bedford about 4 weeks ago, I believe it was, and I'll tell you, as a sophomore, he plays big.
3rd down and 9. Londonderry has had success on 3rd down. They go to Palma on a reverse. Cuts it up at the 30. Breaks a tackle. And is dropped at about the 29-yard line. That's going to be about 3, maybe 4 yards shy of the first down.
That's just an extremely well-designed play. And watch Matt Morrison fight off the block here and able to get a body on him. Otherwise, Cruz was not necessarily gone, but he was gone for a lot more. And Matt Morrison pulls away from a very, very good block. Had body position on him. He fights his way through, gets inside position, makes the tackle, Nick. Those are the plays that don't show up in box scores, but they are important. And because I think he was definitely going for first down.
Well, Londonderry going to roll the dice here on 4th down. 1 for 1 in this first half on 4th down.
Yeah, why not?
Ogden in at quarterback. It's 4th and 5. Inside of 4 minutes to go, second quarter. 3 receivers, strong side right. Cruz in motion back to the near side. Pump fake, Opton now steps up, throws to the far side, and there is a leaping incompletion. Boy, the sophomore Real left his feet.
He gave everything.
I think got some of that football on the way down, but couldn't survive the contact with the ground as it pops out incomplete. Pinkerton going to take over.
Yeah, he saw
after
coming
coming
up
with a stop there on fourth down.
Yeah, you're going to see right here. You talk about giving up everything. Watch this guy. Everything, completely airborne. Morrison was able to get in the very end just to kind of create a little irritation on that. But, boy, he took a hard fall on his right shoulder when he went down. You're going to see it here. If we can slow it down. Yep.
And they're going to look at him on the sideline.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Pinkerton bringing the offense back out. 1st and 10. It's an empty set. Throw into the flat. Morrison makes one man miss up to the 30. Going to bring Freitas with a ride. Still pumping those legs. And he's up to the 39-yard line before it's all said and done. That's a gain of 10. And that should be a Pinkerton first down.
Yeah, boy, I'll tell you, look, the reason I said wow was the anticipation by Morrison to know that he had a tackler coming off of his right wing there. And I'll tell you, what a terrific job running into that pass as he got it.
Again, a no huddle and another receiver screen. This time it's Dillon who gets buried by Wheeler at the 45. A gain of 5 there for the Astros.
Well, this is just a cat and mouse response play calling, Nick. They can see Londonderry just kind of stacking inside the hash marks, Nick, kind of working all of their initial reaction towards the center of the field, trying to stop that run. I like the last two calls by Coach O'Reilly and his staff.
2nd down and 5. Quick throw. Catch me over the middle by Dillon. He's got a first down and then some. Into Lancer territory at the 39-yard line for a gain of 16. Dillon has had a big first half with 4 grabs, including a touchdown.
Well, I said at the Jamboree, as you recall, Nick, this Aiden McDonald guy, don't let him fall under the radar because I think he's been one of the best quarterbacks in the league, and he's showing
the junior has been cooking with gas in this first half. On 1st and 10, eyes downfield. He's got Quintilani.
Just a smart player.
There's a spin move, and he adds a couple more at the end of the catch down to the 25-yard line for a gain of 14 and a first down.
Yeah, Aiden McDonald. We talked about both these quarterbacks, Nick, just selling out completely. Just showing why these teams are here today. They're a big part of it. These two quarterbacks are both high caliber in the brain as well. They are sharp.
1st and 10, McDonald steps up, short pass, caught by Morrison, inside the 10 to his left to the 5.
Look at that.
Looking for the pylon, he's in for a touchdown.
Unbelievable.
It's a 25-yard strike through the air. McDonald to Morrison. Heck of a run after the catch. It's the senior's 2nd overall touchdown of this first half. And Pinkerton back out in front by 2 scores, 20-7.
Now look over here. Watch this. Watch Aiden McDonald. Look, it just sets himself out of the pocket. So important for a quarterback to be able to get out of the pocket and get into open space and continue reading and anticipating as you're rolling out. I'm telling you, I am so proud of New Hampshire football when you see plays like that going together. These are the sort of things you see at the higher level, Nick, and we're seeing it. New Hampshire's own right here. This is first-class football. Both of these teams are doing it. They're hitting on all cylinders. Just proud to watch it.
25-yard touchdown pass from McDonald. He was 4 for 4 on that drive.
Boy.
And he's had a good first half. He's thrown 2 touchdowns. 1 to Morrison, as we saw a moment ago, and 1 to Dillon back in that first quarter. So, back to a 14-point gap. Londonderry still with 2 timeouts to work with. 2 minutes and 10 seconds remaining on the clock. Coming up at halftime, live on-field entertainment. Both bands scheduled to perform. Stats, highlights, analysis of that first half. And plus the Ukeka Player of the Year Award was given out a few days ago. We'll get into that coming up at halftime as well. 21-7 Pinkerton. Nick Anastas, Steve Beals with you. Glad you could join us. The rest of our Friday Night Lights New Hampshire crew here with you from Bill Ball Stadium. We're broadcasting in conjunction with the NFHS Network. Pinkerton in their first hunt for a title since 2014. Hoping to give Coach O'Reilly, his 12th ring.
Plus.
Londonderry. Well, they've been here 5 of the last 6 years. Hoping to get on the top of the mountain once again for the first time since they took it home in 21. Meanwhile, this one is going to scramble Johnny Glees to his right. And then the senior not going to find any shelter there either. He's dropped at the 5-yard line.
Well, if you're Pinkerton, that's what you wanted. Put them deep. 2:03 left. Coach Lozon with 2 minutes and 2 timeouts. Don't ever underestimate what he can do with his offenses. Hey, you were talking about our crew. We've got like the Ted Williams of videography coming out to pinch hit for us today. Last minute, Kristen's gone down, with a little not feeling well. So
the great Pete Johnson.
Well, he did an ABP search for everybody, and then he says, "You know what? I'll step up." And not much better. You don't get much better cameraman than that. And so many other things in the broadcasting industry.
We certainly appreciate
it, Pete.
The last-minute fill-in. 1st and 10. Pitch left side. It's Cruz, and look out.
Just don't tell Tom King. That's all.
There is that pursuit. Aaron Parker was there, and it looked like the edge was set early.
It was.
By James Caruso, the junior for Pinkerton.
Yeah, and he's just, boy, I'll tell you, those guys those two brothers are so valuable to this football team. Different builds, but boy, the net result is kind of like a TJ, Watt and the Watt brothers there, where they're different builds, but the production and the quality of their play is just dominating.
Final minute 20, second quarter, 2nd down and 9 after the 1-yard Cruz pickup. They go back to him, this time with a screen. The junior able to cut across the 10, up the middle to the 15.
Yep.
Brings a few men with him to the 17. And that is very close to a first down. The officials look at each other. No signal yet.
Yeah, smart. You're deep in your zone. You're in. It's 2 scores. You'd rather not have been down 21-7 at this point, but the smart coaches understand. You know what? It is what it is. Let's not get too aggressive here at this juncture with 1:11 left. Still has 2 timeouts. But that's a good, safe play to call. First thing you got to do is get out of, inside your 5 or 10 yard line. They've got a little bit of room right now to work with, but it's going to be a tall order to get it downfield with this, with great defenses on both sides here. But they certainly can do it. Anytime you've got Ogden throwing the ball, anything can happen.
So the chain gang comes out. The measurement is taken. Londonderry is just a bit short. Looks like 3rd down and a foot on the way. 1:11 to go until halftime.
Yeah, my guess is Coach Lozon will push it downfield.
He's going to bring 2 backs into the backfield with Ogden. Pinkerton, it looks like, ready to rush 4. Cruz breaks into a sprint to his left as Ogden takes the snap. They hand off to Palma. Looks for something over right tackle. Not going to get much, but doesn't need much. That should be enough for the first down.
Yeah, get the first down, like you said, Nick. Get the first down, but that's just smart coaching right there. Control the football, number one, into the half. There's plenty of game left to be able to come back, and he's going to run it. And my guess is, Nick, he's going to stay relatively conservative. May throw 1 downfield last play or something, but who knows?
Clock ticking right now, 35 seconds and counting. Again, the Lancers still with 2 timeouts. Football at their own 19-yard line. 4-man front for Pinkerton. 2 receivers right for Londonderry. They fake the pitch to Cruz. They keep it with Ogden. He zigzags up the middle. He's across the 25. Breaks 1 tackle from Caruso before he's dropped by Scholes close to the 29-yard line.
Yeah, he's going to go in.
And again, that's close to the first down. Clock is still ticking inside of 10 seconds. Lancers get right to the ball. Ogden looks at the sideline for guidance, and I think you're right, Steve.
Yeah.
Coach Lozon going to bring his squad into the locker room trailing 21-7. So the first half belongs to Pinkerton. They set the tone early on the opening kickoff. They brought it back to the house, 85 yards, have played with the lead since. Lancers even things out a bit there, but still a 14-point gap at halftime as the Astros lead 21-7.
Nick, I think with Coach Lozon, he looks at the first 5 minutes and sees 14-0. You got to wipe that off the board and say, what's happened since 7-7 ball game since? Really, when you come right down to it. So I think he's looking at the body of work that they did after that and said, look, let's come out in the second half and continue this back and forth and see what we can do.
Yeah. All right, extended halftime here. So over the next 20 minutes or so, Steve and I will step away. We'll have on-field entertainment, live entertainment from both marching bands.
Great bands.
We'll tally up the stats. We've got some highlights for you. We'll get the analysis.
Yukika?
Right. And then the Yukika Player of the Year award to discuss as well. So 21-7 at halftime. Back for more in a moment. You are watching the 2024 NHIAA Football Division I State Championship game right here on Friday Night Lights, New Hampshire, broadcasting in conjunction with the NFHS Network.
Our broadcast today, as it always is brought to you by Beals Insurance Agency, with locations now in both Bedford and Londonderry. Whether you need home, auto, or business insurance, Beals Insurance will get you both the price and quality coverage that's right for you. Just call 603-471-9999 or visit BealsInsurance.com to request a free quote and start saving money today. Again, that's BealsInsurance.com. The New Hampshire Tomahawks promote the highest level of club lacrosse competition, not just in the state, but in the country. Looking to get recruited? Director Chris Cameron keeps an open dialogue with the nation's top college lacrosse coaches. Over 400 New Hampshire Tomahawks alumni have played at the college level, including the ACC, Big East, Big Ten, Ivy, NESCAC, NE10, and more. New Hampshire Tomahawks coaching staff has over 100 coaches, including current high school, varsity, and college coaches. The Tomahawks offer training for players of all ages, clinics, camps, and leagues, along with spring, summer, and fall elite teams. So play with the best. The New Hampshire Tomahawks, showcase and development for college lacrosse. Visit NewHampshireTomahawks.com and girls.nhtomahawks.com. How can you reach your team's fundraising goals at no risk and no cost? MG Sports offers a variety of products to make your team's fundraiser a success. Their products include discount tickets, cards, and calendar raffles to hundreds of local merchants throughout the New England area. Don't waste another season. Raise more funds than ever before and become another football program in New Hampshire that sets fundraising records every season. MG Sports, fundraising made easy. Visit mgsportsfundraising.com to start raising money for your team today. Colonial Printing is family owned and celebrating 50 years of quality print services for New Hampshire businesses and can help yours as well. Whether it's creative design, digital or offset printing, or banners and signs, with state-of-the-art technology, unlimited industry sources, and the ability to think outside the box, Colonial Printing will help you get your job done. To see their full list of services, promo products, and portfolio, or to request an estimate, visit colonialprintingnh.com. That's colonialprintingnh.com.
Starting? What? One more? Say again, one more and then we'll pull it. Just close it. Can I get there real quick? Say, get there, closer, get there.
and gentlemen, the Pinkerton Academy Marching Band. Great job, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to double your entertainment for halftime today. Taking the field, the Londonderry Lancer Marching Band and Color Guard. This show, this year, is the music of Billy Joel. First part of the show featuring Piano Man and Moving Up. Part 2, Angry Young Man. And the third part of the show featuring We Didn't Start the Fire and scenes from an Italian restaurant. And also Only the Good Die Young. The band is being led onto the field by Senior Drum Major Nathan Boyo and also Drum Majors Gretchen Murray and Faith Nolan. The color guard captains for this year's Lancer Band are Vanessa McDonald and Kachi Wambu. And the show drum was written by Devin DiBernardo. And musical arrangements written by Sir Bolio and Matt Bruce and Keegan Fountain. The director for the Lancer Marching Band, Sir Bolio and Devin DiBernardo. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the Londonderry Lancer Marching Band and Color Guard.
Halftime here in Exeter. Pinkerton in search of their first Division I championship in 10 years, leading 21-7 over their arch rival Londonderry. Nick Anastas, Steve Beals with you in this 2024 NHIAA Division I Football State Championship. Pinkerton, after a 7-2 regular season, they earned the number 4 seed in this year's tournament. Took care of Merrimack in the preliminary round, a quarterfinal win over Wyndham. And then a road victory over defending champion Bedford last weekend. Put them in this spot. And they got to business right away. Opening play, an 85-yard kick return to the house by senior Matt Morrison. Untouched down the sideline. Extra point was good. It was 7-0 just 15 seconds into the game. Londonderry brought their offense onto the field, could not get anything going. It was a 3-and-out. Pinkerton on their first drive went down the field and scored. A 35-yard touchdown pass from Aiden McDonald found its way into the hands of Cam Dillon, and it was 14-zip. Londonderry got on the board at the end of their second drive, which ate up most of the remainder of that first quarter. They punched it in with a 7-yard touchdown run from Sam Ogden with inside of 2 minutes to go in that first quarter. 14-7 was our score after one. And then it was the Astros in the waning minutes. They scored with just outside of 2 minutes to go before halftime. McDonald throwing his second touchdown. This one to Morrison from 25 yards out. Extra point up and good, and that is where we are. 21-7, Steve, at halftime.
Yep.
Londonderry is set to receive the opening kick of the second half.
Yeah, I agree, Nick. As far as the game is concerned, you take 14-0 the first 5 minutes of the game. Take that aside, it's been a 7-7 game ever since. So that's something, if you're Coach O'Reilly, that you want to make sure that your guys know that, look, we did a great job first 5 minutes. We're tying these guys. This team has come to play. You got to come out and play a strong second half. Londonderry, Nick, if the same story, just a different perspective of saying, look, we've been able to play even with these guys for the majority of this football game, and that's just a real testament to this Londonderry team for their ability to be able to stay tough and make this a game. It is a 2-score. I think the next score is obviously, that doesn't take a genius to know how important the next score is for both teams. We've seen games this year so far, Nick, with teams getting way up, and then the equalizer comes in the second half. To me, the big difference in this football game right now is that one of the keys of the game was the quality and the performance of these quarterbacks, and boy, they have both shined. But one thing has stood out over and above all is Aiden McDonald passing attack, his ability to methodically move the ball down the field when the great run defense of Londonderry was able to start taking over and over pursuing just a little bit, or stacking the box just beginning to. Aiden McDonald brings out the gun, and he slung for most of that half. So to me, that's a big one.
7 completions, 116 yards, 2 touchdowns. Those numbers, of course, unofficial. Morrison, only 3 carries for 8 yards, 3 catches for 37, including that 25-yard touchdown. And Cam Dillon with a team-high 4 grabs for Pinkerton, 48 yards and a touchdown. For Londonderry, Sam Ogden, 9 carries, 33 yards, included that 7-yard touchdown scamper. 4 completions for the senior for 63 yards. Adrian Cruz, 6 carries, 18 yards.
That says something there.
In that first half, also added a 9-yard grab, and then Palma, 5 carries for 18 yards. So both of those Londonderry tailbacks somewhat bottled up by the Astro defense in that first half.
Yeah, absolutely, Nick, and that's not an easy task with those guys. I do think Adrian Cruz had a big play, and we talked about that earlier, where he fought the ball when they were down 14-0. He plays with such heart, such emotion. But he plays that run was a fierce run to gain 7 or 8 yards, and then after that, Coach Lozon's offensive line really began to fire off and actually play technically better. The one thing, though, Nick, looks like we're going to have the kickoff, but one thing just to watch out in this second half is can they get Morrison free? Are they going to get him involved in the passing game more, Nick? Boy, that ball he pulled off the ground was something else, and then bammed his way in for a touchdown. They're going to need that in the second half.
Pinkerton set to kick. Andrew Perfetto, one of 2 kickers on the roster. A line drive effort towards the sideline is going to end up out of bounds, and a flag is thrown. Illegal procedure. That call coming up. Pinkerton, 2 penalties in that first half for a combined 20 yards. Only 1 5-yard penalty assessed against Londonderry. So we have not heard much from our referee, John Reardon, today. We will hear from him here as the ball is going to be placed up to the 35-yard line.
Well, we don't have to tell you how big this drive here is. Got to answer back, Nick. Got to change at least the field position situation here. Got to put together some time-consuming drive. Coach Lozon obviously has a strategy here in the second half.
Ogden going to keep it himself on an RPO right side, and he's ridden down by Dylan Lake, who has played well this afternoon. Another tackle for the linebacker, but not before Ogden grabs about 6 yards to set up a 2nd and 4.
That's the kind of gain that he wants, though. This is, any good offensive coordinator knows that when they can get 5 or 6 yards on first down, it just changes everything. Kind of gives the defense a little added pressure. But Sam Ogden's going to have to be top-line Sam Ogden here on this drive, first half. Thought he did a great job.
Second down and 4. 5-man front for the Astros. Ogden pulls the handoff back, runs to his right, tries to stiff arm Morrison around the 45, but is brought down shy of that mark.
Yeah, that's how to come up there.
Going to set up what looks like a 3rd down and 2 here for Londonderry.
Yeah, don't know why. I mean, Ogden did a great job. To me, he should have cut up field right away, right into Caruso. At that point, I think he would have had the first down. Thought he could run it wide, but not when number 22 was out there taking the edge, Nick. He's just too fast, too good a tackler to let that happen. But
3rd down and 2.
This is a big play here.
Lancers trying to avoid the 3-and-out. Pinkerton hoping to perhaps force a punt. Hard count from Ogden. Does take the snap. Handoff up the middle. It's Cruz across midfield for the first down.
There's great blocking up front right there. I got to see who that was, Nick, because somebody on the right-hand side, I don't know if it was number 70 or not. We're going to see. Yeah, look at number 70, just completely blows out. Yeah, won the battle there against Caruso. You don't see that happen very often.
That, of course, is Colin Kuchar. Meanwhile, Cruz, another big rip. Back-to-back first down runs for the junior as he's down to the Astro 36.
He is an emotional leader on the football team along with Villa. Both of these guys wear their hearts completely on their sleeve. And let me tell you, that guy just cuts upfield. He runs heavy, too. This is a very important and very productive drive here, just the way Coach Lozon wants it.
An 11-yard gain there for Cruz. Will they stay with the hot hand? No. This time it's Ogden on a right-side run. The quarterback spins. Is a flag thrown. And he's dropped near the line of scrimmage, maybe a yard downfield. But let's see what the penalty marker is about.
Number 51 is claiming, Tucker Bamberg is claiming that it's a face mask. So we'll see if he's right. He immediately made that play gesture, and that is exact. Oh, no, holding, it looks like, against Londonderry. So that was not.
Can't trust the players.
You can't trust. I mean, they're just doing their thing. They're supposed to do that down there. They're just doing their thing. So
that's the second penalty against the Lancers on the afternoon.
Yeah.
So the hold is going to back the football up to the Pinkerton 45-yard line.
Yeah, he's. Those are those drive stalling type penalties, Nick, that you just can't have. But if you're going to have a penalty, have it on first down so you know what your landscape is with potentially 3 more plays, or actually 4 more if you want to go on 4th plays ahead of you. So if it's going to happen, this is when to have it.
1st and 19. Pinkerton again with 5 defensive linemen. Wheeler in motion. Ogden up the middle, jump
nice
cut
move
to his right before Savas rides him down at the 40. About a 5, maybe a 6-yard gain there for the quarterback, 2nd and long coming up.
Yeah, Pinkerton will take that, Nick. He was trying to get back to the original line of scrimmage, and Pinkerton did a nice job coming up there. Who was that? I couldn't tell who that was on the tackle. That
Dino
was
Savas with his 3rd tackle
looked
today.
Looked like Osanya was in there as well.
Yep. Osanya with 5 tackles,
Yeah.
a game high in that first half for the junior middle linebacker.
Yeah, we had Coach O'Reilly on last week, and he speaks so highly to your question, Nick, about Osanya. To him, he just values this guy, and we've seen it all year. He is just one of the many contributors on the defensive backfield.
A key member of this junior class.
Oh,
throw over the top on 2nd and long. There's another flag on the play. Cruz loses his balance at the 26.
Yeah.
But again, a flag is way back at the 45, and Coach Lozon is not happy.
He's not happy about that. Let's see if we can take a look at this on replay here. I was actually looking downfield. I couldn't believe the quality design of the field. Looked to me like there was hands on the back. I don't know if there was holding there. Maybe we'll get a better look right here. But there was hands right there in the back from number 55, and I think that's where they're going to make. He made a great swim move around and just forced the hold. Did look like a hold to me, though, but Coach Lozon at field level does not agree.
The penalty starting to plague Londonderry on this drive. 2 10-yarders.
Well, that's frustrating, Nick, when you go downfield like that and you just so methodically working his way. Coach Lozon is really hot right now with the head official.
His team facing a second down and 24. 2 wing backs, 1 to each side. The pistol back is Cruz, and the quarterback Ogden with his head on a swivel here, looking like he's about to change the play. Lancers with 4 down linemen. They're showing a blitz with a 5th. They're going to throw. Ogden, plenty of time. Now has to escape to his right. Going to tuck and run across the 50 before he's dropped by Savas.
Yeah.
At about the Astro 48.
Well, how many times did you call his name, Nick, in Bedford? Remember how many plays he got in on tackles there? He's one of these guys. And again, that was the second half, too, where he really came on strong. So, he's factoring in, going off the field, pretty excited about his tackle. He should be.
He limits Ogden to just a 4-yard carry, so we have a 3rd and 22.
Yep.
With the first down marker way down the field at the 26 of Pinkerton. Long count here for Ogden. 3-man rush from Pinkerton. The senior takes the snap, throws over the middle, a diving effort. And this one is caught by Paquette near the original line of scrimmage.
Nice
so a
catch.
12-yard gain through the air, but still a 4th and 10 facing Londonderry.
Yeah, you're going to see just a really good effort here. Ogden given a nice pocket to throw out of there, and what a great catch. Able to get his arms cradled under it. Both officials right there.
Second catch of the game for Paquette. And the offense going to stay on the field.
Yeah, I don't know what you're in a situation where possessions, Nick, are at a premium. Coach Lozon knows as good as anybody out there. His team's got to be able to hold on to the football here.
His team is 1 for 2 on 4th down today, facing a 4th and 11. Empty set, and that coach-quarterback conversation continues.
Look for a cross-pattern pass here, inside sort of a slant seam.
Ogden, another long count, finally takes the snap.
He's got a
3-man rush. It's intercepted. Spellman with the interception. And the sophomore is going to return this toward midfield, turns on the Jets, and is finally escorted out of bounds somewhere inside the 40-yard line. The game's first takeaway.
That's a big play.
It's Brady Spellman, who has been one of our favorites here on Friday Night Lights, New Hampshire, showing you how good he is there with a big defensive play on 4th down.
This is about as heady a football player in all of New Hampshire football. Look at him. He's vertical off the ground right there. I said he's got him because I didn't see anybody taking that ball. It was actually a very well-thrown ball other than the fact that Spellman was in the way as far as reaching his receiver. Very difficult for a quarterback to pick that up, Nick. Very difficult. He was way up. That's just tremendous athletic ability and vertical leap to be able to get that ball. He timed it perfectly. Boy, does this kid come and make big plays in big games.
Comes from an athletic family. His older brother, Riley, a proud graduate of Pinkerton a few years back. Here's Morrison, breaks one tackle, and then brings the defender with him to the ground at the 31-yard line.
Yeah,
add that up to a 14-yard gain for the senior, and the Astros are moving again.
I'm sorry about that, Nick. Pinkerton is just feeling it right now. You can see that just was like a shot in the arm right there, and they are just this is when Coach O'Reilly loves to that running game, that power running game where he just comes right at you. Expect to see he and Quintilani, who has not got many calls today, Nick, but Morrison's going to go off the field. Don't be surprised if you see actually I see Osanya in there right now.
Osanya and Scholes are the two backs.
Yep.
They give it to Osanya for the first time. The junior on the left side run is brought down by Majarian at about the 27-yard line. A gain there of 4 to bring up second down and 6. We've talked about Osanya both amongst ourselves and with Coach O'Reilly. Mostly known for that defensive effort, but we can see there what he can do from the fullback spot as well.
Very versatile player. I'm surprised we don't see Spellman in running the ball right now either, but I think what Coach O'Reilly, now he's going to bring Morrison in, just get him a drink, try to give the guys a little bit of break in the action. He'll start platooning players in and out, make sure that the defense is ready to go when it comes time, but needless to say, this is a big strike for the Astros, Nick, with a 21-2 score lead right now. Even 3 points would be pretty significant. So
the Lancer fans are chanting defense and stomping on the aluminum bleachers here. That's going to lead to a Pinkerton timeout. It's Coach O'Reilly, who did not elect to use a timeout before halftime.
No.
He's going to spend one here at the midway point third quarter with his club out in front 21-7.
Yeah, I don't know how much of this is just sort of a hitting the reset button, Nick, giving these guys a little bit of a break. I mean, management not only of the clock, but management of the fatigue factor with your players in the second half is a critical part of good coaching. Both of these coaches do it as well as anybody in the state of New Hampshire and beyond. So I think that's what that was, kind of get guys set. Make sure you talk about ball security. Make sure you talk about 5 points of pressure on the football with both hands. All of those fundamental things. Don't lose yourself. Understand you're in the driver's seat. Don't drive off the road.
Coach O'Reilly been doing it a long time. 48 years as head coach. He's got 12 state championships under his belt. It's his 20th trip to the final. Hoping his club can get over the hill for the first time in a decade. Londonderry, meanwhile, they've been in this spot recently. 4 in a row and 5 of the last 6 years. They came up just short the last 2 years against Bedford. Hoping to do it from behind this year to capture another state championship, their first since 2021.
Yeah, with 2nd down and 6, look for the continued running game.
Pitch, Morrison, right side on. He's around the corner and he's gone.
Osanya.
A 27-yard touchdown. Morrison untouched. His 3rd touchdown of the afternoon, his 2nd on offense, his 1st on the ground.
Watch.
And now Pinkerton has their largest lead on the board at 27-7.
Nick, there's your boy, Osanya again. Watch the reach block that gives Morrison the edge here. It just doesn't get any better than this. What an incredible block by Osanya to give Morrison what he needed. I can't wait for the replay for you folks to see. Fully expended football. Maybe we'll come back to it. Here's the kick.
Pappas has been perfect today, and he's going to stay perfect. That one right down the middle. 3-score game for the first time, 28-7.
Here we go.
It's the Matt Morrison show
now
here
watch
with
number
3 touchdowns.
10 on the edge. Look at that reach block. He just closes it all in. It just doesn't get any better than that. Morrison can look back at Osanya and just say, thank you, sir. I never got touched. It just, watch this block, folks. This is football at its best. And this is what makes team. Look at, he reaches and then closes. It just doesn't get any better than that. And in my opinion, the best runner of the state just ran for a football touchdown. You cannot argue he's up there.
He had the hat trick last week in the semifinal win over Bedford. 2 touchdowns on offense and a pick 6 defensively. Today, took the opening kickoff 85 yards to the house. Had a 25-yard touchdown catch in that 2nd quarter. And here he scores on the ground from 27 yards out.
Yeah.
To put his club up 21 for the first time.
When you factor in not only all the God-given ability, Nick, but the ball security, the way he runs, his cutting ability, take away all the physical gifts, which is hard to do, but look at the mental state of how this young man plays football. On both sides, by the way, he's factored into some huge tackles today as well. He is magnificent.
So Londonderry really in a tough spot now. They're going to handle a squib kick. As again, it's Walden on his way to the ground, able to secure it for the 2nd time today at his own 31-yard line. Well, and that is where the Lancer drive begins. So down 3 scores here, Steve. Does Coach Lozon adjust the approach at all?
Yeah, he's got
inside of 6 minutes to go in this 3rd quarter.
Yeah, if there's any team in the league, Nick, that can throw the ball and move the ball and score quickly, it's them. It's just to the degree of risk that you want to take. When you're down 28-7, that's 3 scores. You've just got to let it go as far as I'm concerned. And let Sam Ogden do his thing. Use those good athletes. Factor them in.
Pitch. Cruz. Ridden down from behind. There's Aaron Parker. Starting to really check in up front for Pinkerton, the junior, with his 3rd tackle.
Yeah, I mean, when you look at the depth of this Pinkerton squad, Nick, right now, and like you were saying earlier about the guys who are, I don't want to call them substitution. They're part of the repertoire, but they're not, they're 2nd, 3rd man in, and the production that they've provided Coach O'Reilly throughout the season, and specifically today. There's like 7 or 8 different guys that you've seen scroll in. This is a terrific, terrific football team. But so is Londonderry. We'll see what they can do, but they've got to score next, and not necessarily quick, but got to before the 3rd quarter ends.
We're at the 5-minute mark. 2nd down, Ogden ridden down by Savis on the edge. Does have some forward momentum. Ends up around the 36, maybe the 37. So 3rd and medium now facing the Lancers. after that 5-yard pickup from the quarterback. Ogden has run for a touchdown today, threw an interception that ended the last drive. But all in all, has played some pretty good football for 2+ years here for Londonderry. Was a member of that 4-quarterback rotation a year ago. And has been the main guy this year. Villa has taken some snaps, including 1 4th down snap today, but it's basically been Ogden's offense throughout the season. Going to face a blitz here on 3rd and 5. He's got time. He throws down the field. It's up for grabs and incomplete.
What a tremendous
overthrown, trying
coverage.
to find Palma. With him step for step on the coverage was Morrison, and that'll bring up 4th down and 5.
Yeah, while they're walking back, if we could take a look at that replay again, I don't know how quick. Here we go. We're going to get another look. Watch the defensive coverage that Morrison puts on him. He is glued to him, looking back, doing all the right things. Got the arm bar out there underneath the receiver's arm so he can lift at the right time. Just a great job playing defensive back.
Morrison going to stay on the field, backed up deep with his toes inside his own 30, set to return this one. Villa, his 3rd punt today,
What
another
a
boomer.
punt. Wow.
Yep. Isaac says stay away. It takes a bounce near Morrison and is covered up on the slide by Londonderry at about the 24-yard line.
Well, I'll guarantee you, Coach O'Reilly said, if that ball isn't right in your breadbasket to catch it, don't bother. Just let that thing be poisoned until they blow the whistle. You know, these are the times you don't want any fundamental breakdowns here to give you. The biggest thing is knowing how to win a game is important, but knowing how not to lose it is equally important. We saw for 25 years the best coach that ever coached the game at doing that in Bill Belichick, and showed us all in New England how to win football games by knowing how not to lose. That's the kind of things in the inside part of the game that does just that.
It's been pretty clean for Pinkerton.
It has.
2 first-half penalties, none since, and no turnovers. Handoff on 1st and 10. Morrison not going to find any running room this time.
Number 48 again.
Nigerian and Freitas, along with Kuchar, all there to meet Morrison and hold him to just a 2-yard pickup.
Well, you liked him there a couple weeks ago, Nick. I couldn't agree with you more. He really began to build a body of work towards the second half of the season. Not that he didn't do well in the first half, but this young man is growing, and you said he's a sophomore, right? I'm not going to predict anybody's age anymore or grade because I screwed up big time on Alex Villa. I'm actually a little depressed because I had in my mind I was going to see him next year, but
well, it's tough, especially with these multi-year starters.
Yeah,
you can lose track quickly.
I thought Alex was a junior.
2nd down and 8.
Plays like a college freshman.
And off to Isaac, trying to get
run
around the corner. It's not going to be there, so he dives forward and hopes to get back to the line of scrimmage.
That's a good job by Londonderry containing these runs, Nick. That's just a great job. They got beat on the touchdown, wasn't able to do the contain there, but I'll tell you, Osanya's reach block there, Nick, was as good a play as I've seen on the offensive side of the ball all day by any player. That is just first-class work right there, and that doesn't happen by accident. That happens from lots of work in practice to learn how to block properly.
We're seeing a bit of a different approach here from Pinkerton in terms of the speed in between plays. It was really a breakneck, no huddle pace in that first half.
Yep.
Now with a 3-score lead on the board, starting to nurse that play clock a bit. On 3rd and 8, it's a pitch to Morrison, and he splits defenders, got a first down.
That's huge.
Along the sideline before he's finally dragged out of bounds at the 47-yard line. Another big gainer of 22 this time for Morrison.
But watch the blocking here up front. There's 2 gentlemen in here. Look at that block. Look at that. That's what does it right there. And you watch Matt Morrison turn on the Jets as he accelerates. Once he makes a decision where he knows his blocker is driving the other player, he cuts perfectly well, and his acceleration is good as any. I think is the best of any athlete I've seen in this state this year.
Dragged out of bounds there by Ogden, as you could see.
Yeah, I mean, Ogden, don't underestimate his defensive capability either, but anytime your safeties are making the tackles, Nick, it's never good.
Morrison only had 3 direct handoffs in that first half for a combined 8 rushing yards. He has picked that up in this third quarter. Now with over 60 in just this frame alone,
he just won't go
add
down.
to that total here up the middle. to the second level before Cooper Freitas drops him at the 41. That's a 10-yard gain and another Pinkerton first down as we come up on 2 minutes to go in this third quarter.
Scary to think about what the numbers of number 22 would have been, Nick, if he wasn't injured for those games, because he's racking up massive numbers already. In spite of that, he is a special football player, but his offensive line is right there with him. And when they know any of these guys, if they're these running backs are getting the call, whether it's Spellman, whether it's Jamie Isaac, these guys have doing a great job off the line of scrimmage.
Now McDonald going to throw his first pass since halftime. There's a flag on the play. And instead of putting it in the air, he just runs out of bounds. Again, a flag in the backfield and a hold against Pinkerton coming up.
Yep. Well, anytime you got your quarterback scurrying in two different directions, there's a lot of misdirection on the responsibility of the offensive blockers, Nick, and that's difficult. Not to grab a shirt, a jersey, to clutch, get your arm underneath the armpit of the defensive player in order to protect your quarterback. So hard not to hold on a play that went on that long in so many different directions.
They're going to mark this back to the Astro 48-yard line.
So it's a big play here. A big set of downs for Londonderry right here. If they're going to have any chance, Nick, they've got to stop them and work into the fourth quarter here, owning the football.
1st and 20. McDonald back under center. Londonderry with 4 defensive linemen. Handoff to Isaac, goes up the middle. Ends up in Londonderry territory. Freitas another tackle. Ball spotted at the Lancer 48. So a 4-yard gain, 2nd and 16 coming up. So we approach the final minute, third quarter. Pinkerton, their largest lead of the afternoon on the board, 28-7. Scored the first 14 points just 3 minutes into the contest, and it played with the lead ever since.
Yeah, they played with the lead, but they've also played smart, to your point earlier, Nick, where they're doing all the fundamental things right, and really, low penalty count, clean game. Wow, they're going to throw it.
On 2nd and 16, McDonald escapes the pocket. Looking for more yardage. He's at the 35 before he's finally met and dropped by Palma. Going to roll forward down to the 34 for a gain of 14.
Yeah. If you would, I don't know of a decision that Aiden McDonald has made today, Nick, that wasn't the right one. Whether he scrambled and didn't run and throw, whether he looked downfield, didn't like what he saw and did run. To me, he's got an A+ today as far as Coach O'Reilly speaks very highly of this guy. I've been watching him all year. I loved his play, and boy, it's almost amazing. Comes in as a senior, almost got the job, last year. But wow, he's putting together a great game for 3 quarters.
3rd down and 2, and Coach O'Reilly is going to let this thing run down to 0. That's the end of the third quarter. So Pinkerton will face a 3rd and 3 on the other side of the field when we come back. The Astros perhaps 12 minutes away from their first championship in 10 years. Does Londonderry have one final comeback in them? We find out on the other side as we head to break. You are watching the 2024 NHIAA Division I Football State Championship game here on Friday Night Lights, New Hampshire, broadcasting in conjunction with the NFHS Network.
Our broadcast today, as it always is brought to you by Beals Insurance Agency, with locations now in both Bedford and Londonderry. Whether you need home, auto, or business insurance, Beals Insurance will get you both the price and quality coverage that's right for you. Just call 603-471-9999 or visit BealsInsurance.com to request a free quote and start saving money today. Again, that's BealsInsurance.com.
Well, I apologize, folks. I sent us to break a little prematurely. They actually added 2 seconds to that third quarter clock while we were away. Aiden McDonald threw up
Here's the play.
Hail Mary towards the end zone. As you could see, Ethan Wheeler having the inside position with a great leaping interception for Londonderry. Lancers going to take over inside their own 5-yard line. That's the first Pinkerton turnover of the afternoon. Other than that, hard to find a lot to complain about if you're an Astro fan. They jumped out in front 14-0 just 3 minutes into the game. Took the opening kick to the house. Matt Morrison from 85 yards out. Second drive ended with a 25-yard touchdown pass from McDonald to Cam Dillon. Londonderry came alive late in that first quarter, scored their only touchdown of the afternoon on a 7-yard Sam Ogden run. Pinkerton added a 25-yard touchdown throw and catch from McDonald to Morrison just before halftime. 21-7 our score at the break. And then in that third quarter, the Morrison show continued. A 27-yard touchdown went around the corner, was untouched. And now as we begin this fourth quarter, it's Pinkerton's game, 28-7, a 21-point lead on the board for the first time.
Yeah, Nick, and it's just so much other support, from guys like, you got Osanya making big plays. You got Savas making big plays. You got big plays coming out of the sophomore. It's the sophomore class as well. I mean, the Morrison show is incredible, but there's so many other big plays that have been checked in by the Astros today, Nick. It's truly a team effort. And, Osanya doesn't make that block. Now you got a guy straight up tackle on Morrison. Doesn't mean that he still wouldn't have scored, but certainly far less likely. So, broad effort here.
That was a false start against Londonderry, a 2-yard penalty. So now from their own 2, Ogden with time now will escape the end zone to his right. Full sprint toward the sideline, gains the 10-yard line.
Boy, he's got some speed as well, doesn't he?
Yeah, it turns out to be a pretty good play. But hang on, there's another flag down back at the 1-yard line.
Hard to imagine that this would be defensive given the location of the flag, but I guess it's possible.
About a yard deep in the backfield. Now they're going to pick up the flag, and no penalty on the play. So we've got instead a 2nd down and 5 coming up.
Don't know what that would have even been. Yeah. Maybe it fell out of his pocket. I don't know.
Sam Ogden has played well today. Made the one mistake with the interception. Trying to get his troops in order, but another procedural penalty here coming against Londonderry. That's got the Lancer fans a bit agitated. Only 2 penalties for Coach Lozon's squad before halftime. Check that, just 1. Since the break, 4 penalties, including that 5-yarder there.
Yeah, that's not the direction you want to go here. You deepen your zone, and you don't want to lose possession now without a score.
Ogden, play fake, looking, throwing, down the middle, up for grabs, intercepted. It's Jamie Isaac. Intended target was Paquette. He falls down. Now Isaac on the return to his right has real estate. He's inside the 20 before he crosses out of bounds at the 18. So a good interception, a better return, and now Pinkerton cooking with gas inside the red zone.
Well, this is the main reason why, in my view, other than just great play by everybody in the team, why they were able to beat the 2-year undefeated Bedford Bulldogs, Nick, is because they had Morrison and Isaac in on defense. These guys are tremendous. You've seen the pass coverage that they have provided today, and it's just unbelievable. That's just a terrific job. He actually had complete position, Isaac did, on the receiver. But Ogden at some point just says, look, we got to throw the ball up. Too bad he didn't have an underneath receiver that he could have thrown at him there. But had the time to throw, but just great individual effort there by Jamie Isaac. He's terrific.
So now Pinkerton threatening to really blow this one open. 1st down and 10 from the Lancer 19. It's a loaded backfield. Morrison, left side run through the hole, spins at the 15, fights for a few more, down to the 13-yard line for a 6-yard pickup. Morrison's second half has been spectacular. Londonderry somewhat contained him before the break. But, Steve, in that third quarter alone, over 70 yards and adding to that total here in real time in the fourth.
Yes, absolutely. And this is crunch time right here. You go up against, a score here, and at some point mathematically it becomes. Look at him.
Same
go.
play.
Wow.
Left side run. The hole is there again. And he's down inside the 10 near the 5-yard line. I think they'll spot him at the 6.
Yeah, and you see some hands on the hips here. This defense has been out on the field, Nick, and they have gone right. And, the Astros have gone right at them. And they've had, a good part of the game where I thought they've done a very good job. Ogden, it's too many offensive plays where the safeties are tackling, and that'll always tell you that a team, fatigue-wise, is starting to set in here a little bit.
See if they go to Morrison for a third straight time. Got a 1st and goal from the 6. Again, Pinkerton working the play clock. Handoff, Morrison, right side run this time, and guess what? He's in the end zone. Touchdown number 4. This one comes from 6 yards out. It's his second rushing touchdown of the afternoon. Again, his 4th overall. And Pinkerton really starting to run up the score now, 34-7. With just over a minute gone by in this fourth quarter.
Well, eventually something had to give one way or another. I thought Londonderry made 2 really strong bids in making a fight to get back into this game. But this Pinkerton team, Nick, is just so powerful, so strong, so deep. It's just been too much to try to sustain it the whole game, Nick. And when they start throwing their replacements in the game, Nick, and the replacements are making big plays as well while their starters are resting, that's when you know that when you start getting to the second half of the third quarter on, Nick, that's just probably going to spell a great deal of difficulty to come back because you've got your starters on pretty much the whole game in order to compete. And that's been a factor, I think, as we come out elite going into the fourth quarter.
It's been a long wait for Pinkerton. Their first championship game appearance since 2018. And it's been a decade even since their last championship win. That was back in 2014 when they shut out Bedford by a score of 37-0. We talked to Coach O'Reilly about that. His teams have certainly been in the mix, especially the last few seasons, losing in the semifinals. Many of those games against Londonderry.
Yep.
Here they meet the Lancers in the championship spot for the first time since 1993. And if they can hang on to this massive 28-point lead, Coach O'Reilly's going to leave here with his 12th state championship.
Well, I'm going to save till the end of the game, Nick, my comments as far as related to Coach O'Reilly, but I share your view initially, Nick, going into this. In my discussion with him in the game and the discussions we've had with him on Gridiron, I think at the end of the game will be a great time to talk about the history behind the man, and
he's on the Mount Rushmore of coaches.
There's no doubt about that.
Meanwhile, Inglis dragged down by Scholes again inside the 10-yard line. As this Astro kick coverage unit has been on point today.
Yeah,
Spellman given credit with the tackle there.
Just so strong in all 3 phases of the game, Nick. But fundamentals, to me, fundamental play here by the Astros over these past 5 or 6 weeks. Yep. You could see the Astros getting stronger, Nick, as a program, and when they capped it off just go back and look at how good the Wyndham Jaguars were this year to bring them 8-7, Nick. I think the score, correct me if I'm wrong, that game was of how good they were, but
14-6.
14-6, apologize. So 14-6, that's just a tremendous showing by them. And then to go into Bedford and beat Bedford in Bulldog Stadium, you could just see all this developing.
Inglis on a receiver screen, met by Morrison at the sideline. Driven out of bounds at about the 13 for a gain of 4. 2 minutes gone by now, fourth quarter. Well, again, Pinkerton, they got off to the hot start, beating a Massachusetts Power in week number 1 by multiple scores. Beat Andover 38-17. Beat Londonderry in week number 4 to remain undefeated. That was a big victory as well on the road. 38-15 the final margin there.
Which game was that now you're talking about?
The Pinkerton win over Londonderry in week number 4. propelled the Astros to that 4-0 start. Then they were caught slipping, so to speak, is Salem.
Yeah, Salem does that.
Grabbed the headline with that win in week number 5. The aforementioned Bedford-Pinkerton regular season matchup, as this goes incomplete, occurred in week number 6. So Pinkerton starts 4-0. They slip to 4-2. They lose Morrison in that regular season tilt against the Bulldogs. Nonetheless,
freak injury, really.
Nonetheless, finished the regular season with 3 straight wins. They earned the number 4 seed. A win over Merrimack in the prelims. The quarterfinal victory you mentioned over Wyndham a week later.
Big one.
And then last week jumped out in front of Bedford 21-0 on their way to a 27-13 victory. Their 6th in a row coming into today. Yeah. And they have played with the lead all afternoon this afternoon.
Yeah, that game in Wyndham was Coach O'Reilly's coaching at its best. You saw it right there. It's easy. It's always a lot easier if you're way ahead to finish a game and win it, but he did a terrific job managing that football team and managing the clock to win that game, in my opinion. And then in Bedford, the same situation. Shepherded his team through it as far as clock management, just kind of forcing Bedford to in the end of that game to perform at a level that they always do, but it just Pinkerton Astros are just too much for them there. And it's at that point where you say, hey, if Morrison and Isaac are healthy, along with the rest of the group, the Carusos and others, this is just a star-packed program. But they play as a team, and they play for each other, and they're showing that today. But to me, Nick, when they went down earlier in the season and blew out Andover, Massachusetts, that's when I said to myself, wow, that Andover's a good program.
It was back in week 1.
Yeah, back in week 1 when
Meanwhile,
they did that.
on 4th down, we've got a sack. Londonderry, with limited options, decide to go for it deep in their own end. Aaron Parker gets home for the sack, and Pinkerton is going to take over for the 2nd straight drive in the red zone at the Londonderry 14-yard line. Well, Parker playing one of his better games of the season. He's a member of that junior class, Steve, that's going to be back next year, and that is going to have Pinkerton again on the short list in Division I.
They are, and Londonderry reloads every single year, and they've got some guys out in the field that are coming back next year as well. So Coach Lozon will again have a great group of guys to work with.
Both teams
really just reload every single year and give everybody great excitement to watch New Hampshire football.
Morrison on 1st and 10 is brought down. A good sliding tackle there by Cam Ayotte, senior, with his first stop today for Londonderry. Morrison just a 2-yard pickup, 2nd down and 8. Just over 3 minutes gone by, 4th quarter, and some of the Londonderry fans starting to seek the exit here.
Yep.
Still plenty of time, but the writing perhaps on the wall here as Pinkerton threatens again to extend this lead.
Well, we saw in Gridiron when we talked to Coach O'Reilly and Coach Lozon, always great to have those guys on. They provide such insight. We'll pick up after the play.
We got an I formation here, overload left side. And again, McDonald pauses a moment before he takes the snap. Handoff left side. Morrison's got an alley inside the 10, spun down inside the 5 by Cooper Freitas. Continues to have a big day for Londonderry. I'm going to mark Morrison somewhere at the 4-yard line that should set up a 1st down and goal.
Yeah, we were talking, Coach O'Reilly was talking about how, the bottom line is, you were asking him kind of like about, being 10 years since the championship. He says, look, I had some really good teams, but there were other teams that were better.
Right.
Well, not this year. From what it appears here, 35-7 and threatening again in this game. They certainly have shown today who they are this year, and it appears as though his team is the best team.
And his squad got healthy at the right time.
Yes.
As well, we mentioned the Morrison injury. As Morrison looks for the corner, won't get it. Tackled by Ventura. Yep. I believe inbounds. So that clock should continue to tick. But nonetheless, it was not just Morrison that Pinkerton was missing. They lost Isaac for stretches, Quintilani.
Yep.
I'm going to go up and down the list. And everything seemingly worked out in the end from a health perspective and from a wins-losses perspective here with Pinkerton in the driver's seat as we hit 7 minutes to go in regulation.
And Londonderry without Devin Bowles for the season. So they've suffered key injury right there for them. Always love watching him play.
Great two-way edge player, tight end, D-end. Unfortunately out with a broken wrist. Morrison is going to make it number 5. Touchdown number 5. This one from 5 yards out. And the lead is now a 5-touchdown difference at 41-7. An extra point will trigger the running clock.
And looks like he flashed a little hand signal. I don't know if it was how many touchdowns he's got or what, but he certainly has earned the right to run by the camera and give a little signal of how he's feeling right now.
Well, 5 touchdowns. We may have to visit with the great sage Roger Brown to see where that ranks among all-time championship game performances, because 5 is tough in any game, never mind the biggest of the season. And it all got started on the first play of the game, an 85-yard run by Morrison to the house, added a 25-yard touchdown catch in the second quarter, a 27-yard touchdown run in the third quarter. Here in the fourth quarter, scores from 6 and 5 yards out on the previous 2 drives.
Well, we got a minute. We had no internet before this game, and wanted to thank, obviously, the hard work of Kat Doyle and the job that she and Nick did trying to get this thing rolling, and obviously the help that we got from Rusty and Kathy, the AD here at Exeter. What a terrific job, and how much we really appreciate them getting us on air in time. And obviously to Nick and Kat. So
team effort.
Yep.
We had Ben Beals involved, and of course,
yes,
we dragged John Barron out of whatever hole he's hiding in.
Out in Pittsburgh
to get on the phone and help us with that. So yes, a little hairy of a situation before kickoff, but
I didn't mean to forget you, John.
It all worked out, so we appreciate it.
Yeah,
and it's all worked out today for Pinkerton, closing in on a 12th state championship for Coach O'Reilly, the 12th in school history. First brought his team to the final, Steve, in 1981. That was back when Pinkerton was a member of D2.
Imagine that, huh?
They came up short against Somersworth in the final that year.
Yep.
They moved to D1, and then they go back-to-back in 85 and 86, and it's been a fruitful journey really ever since.
But they've been playing great teams. My Pinkerton used to play Brockton almost every year.
Right, even before that, 81.
Before that, and this was in 1950, I believe, that my dad went up to Central High School, and he was actually a band member, played for the band, and had walked into the Gill Stadium being pelted by tomatoes. And so the love-hate relationship between Pinkerton and Brockton and Central, in that case, Central would play Brockton as well. And obviously, when Central went down to Brockton, they would have the tomato deal in kind in response. So, but anyway,
as you mentioned, a rivalry renewed not only today with this Londonderry Pinkerton championship affair, the first to feature these two schools against each other since 1993, but you mentioned Brockton back in the mix as well. Pinkerton scheduled them for their one out-of-state opponent a year ago, and handed Brockton a multi-score loss. So that rivalry that stretches back decades, as you just mentioned, is alive and well.
Armin Colombo.
Meanwhile, it's Wheeler. His team trailing big. Gets around the corner, is tackled inbounds by one of the Pinkerton substitutions. That's Marcus Navarro getting his first action. He's a 6'2 senior. Makes a good tackle at the 37-yard line. And now a 2nd down and 3 facing Londonderry as we cross the midway point mark in this fourth quarter.
And Bill Ball walking across down the lower end of the field here. What a team that Bill Ball put together this year. They're not here today, but I'll tell you, they were tremendous to watch. What a football team.
Ogden going to tiptoe up the middle, first down and then some. Senior breaks to his left. He's in Astro territory. Steps out Ware at about the 43-yard line. So that's a pretty good pickup there for Ogden. The clock is going to run now down towards the 5-minute mark, fourth quarter.
And this temperature started out what I expected, but boy, did the degrees fall off the thermometer as the game progressed here.
Meanwhile, look out. That's the left guard, Walden.
What a season he's had.
Didn't get the memo on that play as he goes early. It's a false start against Londonderry.
Yeah, a lot of memos he did get, though, Nick. I'll tell you, as he checked in on both sides of the football, really enjoyed watching him play.
Yeah, he's had a handful of tackles defensively today and has opened up some holes at time up the middle for Londonderry.
Yes.
Let's see what they do here with 4 receivers. Rayo is in motion. The sophomore behind the quarterback takes the pitch. Cuts it upfield, breaks a tackle from Isaac Savas. Going to ride him down inside the 40 at the 38. It's a gain of 11. Should set up a 2nd down and 4. Well, Rayo has been a pleasant surprise.
Yes.
We knew what he could do defensively, but the sophomore has touched the ball 3 times on offense and has been able to produce 23 yards combined through the air and the ground. Meanwhile, Ogden on 2nd and 4 goes up the middle, not for much.
A lot of class being showed by the various players helping each other up. A lot of respect. There's a rivalry, there's no doubt. And there might be a little bit of temporary dislike, so to speak. But when it comes really down to it, these teams respect each other tremendously. Obviously, Londonderry, years and years ago, went to Pinkerton High School and then built their own. I forgot the specific date.
I believe 82.
I think I was going to say 81 or 82. And
meanwhile, Ogden still going. Goes up the middle, tackled by Parker, and I believe has enough for a Londonderry 1st down.
Needless to say, when these teams buckle up the helmets and get going on the field, Nick, it's always a classic. I mean, that game and that COVID Mac Plaque game, we were coming right in the middle of COVID, Nick, to me. Game opened up. Both bands played the national anthem. Place had 5,000 people in it, and the patriotism that you could feel in that stadium. I'll never forget the rest of my life.
That was back in 2021.
Yep.
Ogden up the middle, spins away from Osanya before he gets dropped by Navarro inside the 25. They'll mark him just shy of the 24, another 7 for Ogden. He's been Londonderry's leading rusher today. Did throw the 2 interceptions in this second half, but is responsible for the 7 points on the scoreboard.
Yep.
Scored a first-quarter touchdown from 7 yards out and has been really the bell cow ever since. Meanwhile, we're down to 2.5 minutes remaining. Reminder, after the game, the trophy presentation will take place on the field. We'll bring that to you live. Ogden may have been a broken play there, Steve, as he hesitated and then paid the price as Osanya drops him for a sack.
You talk about a player that's left it on the field today. Sam Ogden is certainly amongst the top of the list, Nick. There, he has given everything that he had today, and boy, has he been a tremendous joy to watch. All year long. Sam just led his team. Thought he did a phenomenal job last week.
Set up what would be the game-winning field goal on a drive that was mostly orchestrated through the air in that last-minute win over Exeter. Meanwhile, Osanya is going to register his 7th tackle today as he drops Palma at the 28, and a flag flies in late, perhaps after the play.
Yeah, I think that was right after the whistle.
The official's going to sort it out. The clock is frozen for the moment with 1:34 to go.
Don't know if it's just a couple words said after the whistle, or I don't know, unless it was something really serious. Don't know.
Coach Lozon now has the ear of our referee, John Reardon. It's a personal foul against Londonderry.
Yeah, they've called that tight this year, Nick. I mean, in all fairness, with consistency, they have definitely called any after the whistle stuff this year. And remember, we kept on talking about it, how many there were, but it's been consistent all year long.
Yep. And this one had been pretty much under control until that play there. That's also Londonderry's 6th penalty since halftime.
It's hard. I mean, you give so much at this point in the game. You come so far, and the emotions run a little high, to say the least. But
and that's when you really got to be on your toes if you're an official. This type of scenario late in the game.
Yeah, absolutely. You don't want anything to get out of hand, but overall, Nick, that will not overshadow the class in which these two organizations have and the way that they bring the game of football to the fans and to anybody watching. Will see that how good these two teams are and how well coached they are, how their communities get behind them. My gosh, I thought there was a big act. I thought the president was coming over a 101, and it was the Londonderry Lancer buses getting, escorted by police cars from Londonderry. It's a big deal for both of these towns.
Cruz tackled by Anthony Caruso after pulling in the catch. Going to get, about 8 yards there.
Somewhere around there, yeah.
And that means 4th down and long as we head to the final minute of this 4th quarter. Got another whistle. I think Coach O'Reilly may have just called a timeout here. He's going to pull the remaining starters off the field.
Yep.
As you can see, the celebration starting to boil over there on the Pinkerton sidelines. The Astro fans have gone nowhere.
No.
As you can see, the far side bleacher is still jammed shoulder to shoulder. Folks starting to spread themselves out here, so to speak.
I don't know what the numbers were today, Nick, but it was 3-4 deep all the way around the outside perimeter, both stands jacked full. This place was loaded up. So people came out to support these programs. Obviously, statewide interest beyond just the Pinkerton and Londonderry communities, Pinkerton Academy and Londonderry areas, people from all over the state that I could recognize were coming to watch the game. So, as said last week on Gridiron, football is very up and alive and doing very well in the state of New Hampshire.
Meanwhile, got a new quarterback who just fumbled the snap. It's Spencer Colburn, the young sophomore. Fortunate for his team, he's able to fall back on it. 45 seconds and counting. Now, I believe the way this is going to work is that we're going to keep it right here after the final horn through the trophy presentation.
Yep.
Then we'll sign off for good.
Yep.
That'll give us a chance to recap, tally up the stats.
Lots to talk about.
And, of course, bring you the live on-field trophy presentation for both Pinkerton and Londonderry. All right, there is Colburn. He's going to take the knee, and that's going to do it. For the first time in 10 years.
What a celebration.
Pinkerton is the king of the D1 Mountain. They're going to win their 12th state championship in school history in a big way. 42-7.
Decisive.
Is the final score here at Bill Ball Stadium. They scored on the first play of the game and never looked back. Congratulations to the Astros. Congratulations to Londonderry.
Yep.
As well, making the championship game for the 4th straight year, but it was not meant to be this time.
See if we
as
get
Pinkerton wins 42-7.
Well, as these two head coaches meet, you've just got two of the best in the business right here. The mutual respect there that those guys have, and the way that they handle themselves leading their football programs is a model for anyone to take after. Londonderry obviously disappointed. Very decisive victory here by Pinkerton. They really showed, in my view, Nick, Pinkerton did how good they were today. They have been on the rise, and they've just felt. You just felt like that we had them as second position in the power poll because of the deep respect that you have for Bedford, that they hadn't lost a game. But after that win there, Nick, a couple weeks ago, last week I should say, you could see that Pinkerton is just still rising and just playing at a level that nobody else is playing right now.
Matt Morrison, the hero, 5 touchdowns today, 3 on the ground, 1 through the air, and 1 on special teams. Just outstanding stuff. And he caps his career in a fitting way. That was really the only thing missing from the resume was the ring. And now Morrison has it. And we wish him luck moving on to the next level.
Okay, so are we going to take a break, or are we just
we're not. We're going to keep
going. Okay, fine.
Until it's time to say goodbye.
So I got a chance to talk to Coach O'Reilly before the game, Nick, and was telling about how his daughter enjoy the FNL game, Friday Night Lights game last week from upstate New York.
Beautiful.
And technology is such a gift today with all the community stations that do so much in the state of New Hampshire. The town community stations, Sports Page, and New Hampshire High School Sports. If I've missed anybody, I don't mean to. Pemigewasset, Pemi TV. It just goes on and on. But Coach O'Reilly looked, like I said, extremely relaxed and pumped up about, at the same time, about what was about to happen. He says, but you could tell he was relaxed, very confident in his football team this year. And when you look at the scoreboard, you see why. And Londonderry is a very, very good football team. And to beat Londonderry by that margin just shows the sort of decisive victory and decisive play that they demonstrated out in the field. But, this Coach O'Reilly, Nick, you go back a lot, even longer than I do for all the years back there. To me, I couldn't be happier for the man. And I just have such respect for what he said last week. I had great teams, but those championships were won by other better teams. Well, he can say he's the better team this year. So congratulations to him, his whole staff, the whole Pinkerton community. Met so many wonderful people over there, and I couldn't be happier for the legend. And I can only imagine how he feels right now.
Well, here's the resume, Steve. As we said, first championship appearance, a runner-up in D2 against Somersworth back in 1981. They joined D1. They go back-to-back in 85 and 86. Then for a moment, there's another realignment right around the late 80s, early 90s. Class L becomes a thing. Pinkerton joins it, and they win a title in 91. Then it goes back to D1 for the remainder, and they continue to rack up championships, 92, 93, 94. So there's 4 in a row at the beginning of the 90s decade. Then a little bit of an absence. They don't go back to the final until 2004, where they fall to Central. But then that was just the beginning of another three-peat for Pinkerton. D1 champs 05, 06, and 07. Then in 08, Steve, they lose by a point to Nashua South in the final.
Here he is. Here's Coach O'Reilly.
Coach O'Reilly. And then again, right back in it in 2010. They win it. They lose to Coach Ball's Exeter's team 2 years in a row, 2011, 2012, then fall to Concord in the final in 2013 before beating Bedford, as we mentioned, in 2014. Back-to-back in 17 and 18, they fall just short against Winnicott. And then Bedford again. And then after a 6-year absence, back in the final today, and there was never a doubt, 42-7. Their 12th championship in school history, the 12th under Coach O'Reilly. And on the other side, pretty good run for Londonderry as well, as we talked about for years, led by Tom Sawyer, who racked up 6 championships of his own, 4 in D2, 2 in Division I. Coach Lozon takes over the team in 2014. In 2019, brings them to the championship where they beat Exeter. They're back 2 years later. And top Winnicott in 2021.
That's a great game.
But now have fallen 3 straight times in the championship round, 2 against Bedford and then again today. But to the minds of many, that's more of an accomplishment than something to be disappointed about.
Yeah, it's awful hard. If Coach Lozon had been to 6 years and won none, the guy's won 2 championships, and he's brought his team to the championship game every single 5 times. This is unbelievable record that's being amassed here. Unbelievable. Speaks volumes about the Londonderry Lancer football program. And, Coach O'Reilly, again, said it best. There were better teams. These last 3 years, there were better teams. And I have no doubt that that coaching staff is going to go back to the drawing board. They're going to start a lifting program in January right after the Christmas break, Nick, and they're going to be back in the thick of things again. And I have no doubt in my mind, with looking at some of the underclassmen or non-senior play on the Pinkerton Astros, so are they going to be back strong next year, as well as so many other teams. We know Winnicott's building. You look at Memorial building. You look at Coach Ball coming back now, just totally focused on football and the extra that he and his staff were able to bring their team. How about Cody Jackson from Nashua South? That team is going to be back with a player like that next year. Who knows what Nashua North has in store with a great coaching staff they got. We can go Wyndham, Salem, Alvern. Look, how about Coach Lee and Alvern? Coach O'Reilly said it best. Football's alive and well, doing well in the state of New Hampshire. So get in the weight room, everybody, and make it all worth your while because what a great year this has been. I can't believe it was the Jamboree. Just feels like a month or two ago. And
Always does.
Always does. But, and as always, Nick, before we go off the year, you're the best in the business. I'm proud to work with you, and I'll tell you, you've just had a phenomenal year broadcasting this year. You keep it all together, and I know you'll talk about the rest of our staff as well. But I really enjoyed it, bud.
And right back at you for sure.
You got it.
All right. Some unofficial final numbers here. We'll, I guess, start and end with Matt Morrison. 5 touchdowns, speaks for itself. 6 yards on just 12 carries, rushing the football, 3 rushing touchdowns, and again, 3 catches for 37 yards and a receiving touchdown. And, of course, he took the opening play to the house, 85 yards for a touchdown. So Matt Morrison, clearly the MVP of today.
Nick,
earlier,
you went over the
I was about to bring that up.
Yeah, okay.
Earlier today. Earlier this week, the winner of the 2024 Joe Ukeka New Hampshire chapter of the National Football Foundation, that Player of the Year award was given out to Campbell High School Scott Hirschberger, and for good reason. Not only did he guide the Cougars to their second Division III championship in 3 seasons, but he finished his career with over 6,000 yards on the ground, including 2,000 this year as a senior. Those are just some eye-popping numbers. The 6,066 yards are the most in a high school player's career ever in the state of New Hampshire. So congratulations to Scott Hirschberger, who is the winner of the 2024 Ukeka Award Player of the Year.
Just saw Coach O'Reilly talking to the press down there, Nick, and when you can imagine the history that goes back. I mean, so many decades, and how it must feel. It must be really sweet.
I have no idea.
Really sweet.
I don't know how anything.
For him.
When you're doing something for 48 straight years, that's hard for me to fathom.
Yeah,
frankly.
But to get back
to
at the dance,
well, right?
Yeah.
Now 12 titles in 20 trips to the championship.
This
that
will be a
includes
team he
today's
remembers.
42-7 victory, their first championship win in a decade. All right, Steve, some final thoughts here before we say goodbye.
Well, obviously, what a great place to play a game. Yep. Exeter High School to play a championship, Nick. It's just almost just been built and designed for it. I want to thank them, Coach Ball, Kathy, Rusty, Sherm, and everybody else, and I know you will as well, for the hospitality that they show us in a great spot to call a game here. We're thankful for that and thankful to them. Very thankful for Pete Johnson, our friend from Nashua TV, coming out and really didn't have to do this today and gave us a 3-camera shoot. We had an illness in our crew and going to be okay, but Pete showed up. So thank you so much. I know you give the rest of them, but what a great game. What a great day. And this place was jam-solid with electricity, but I don't think Londonderry gave in for one play. I just think they gave out against a team that was just deeper, stronger, and had some key position play that was absolutely marquee in the state. Both of these coaches will continue to shepherd these programs, I sincerely hope, and back for another year. But this year, Pinkerton Astros, well-deserved. To me, Nick, they were right. You could just knew if they were healthy, they were going to be at the top of the heap, and sure enough, with a decisive victory here. So I'll send that back to you. I am going to enjoy watching this game on Rewind, especially when it got a little tight there. But it was started to come back. But no question that every time that Londonderry struck, Pinkerton came back in force. Matt Morrison, one of the best runners I've seen for a lot of years.
5 touchdowns today for the senior in his final high school game as Pinkerton again wins the championship in Division I.
Aiden McDonald, stellar performance. Aiden McDonald, stellar.
McDonald was good as well with 2 touchdown passes coming in that first half. All right, you mentioned the thank yous. Of course, Kathy, first-year athletic director here in Exeter. Appreciate her lieutenants on the ground, and include the great Rusty, Sherm, and Sam. And just a pleasure to work with her and the staff, not just this season, but moving forward as well. Our friends over at the NFHS Network, Don Boyle. Always a pleasure. And, of course, his men underneath him, men and women, doing a great job over at NFHS Network. That is a partnership that we value here at Friday Night Lights, New Hampshire. I want to thank you to our friends at the NHIAA, including President Jeff Collins, who's somewhere down in that mix, handing out the trophies and medals. Good to see Jeff again today. And, of course, our sponsors at Friday Night Lights New Hampshire doing the heavy lifting throughout the year. That's Beals Insurance, MG Sports Fundraising, the New Hampshire Tomahawks, and Colonial Printing. We appreciate the support there. For our crew here at Friday Night Lights New Hampshire, that includes Kristen Beals. Couldn't make it today, but a big part of our effort this year, so we appreciate her. We say thanks.
Johnny Barron?
John Barron, who couldn't make it today either, but was really the unseen hand for the broadcast as a whole.
Absolute
workhorse.
workhorse.
We even got him on the phone today.
Yep, helping us out.
So we appreciate Johnny. And then, of course, those on the crew, the two camera operators down there in the trench, Kat Doyle and Matt Beals. Fantastic job. Pete Johnson of ETV up here with us in the booth. Great job on a pinch hit basis. And, of course, the whole thing orchestrated flawlessly by the man behind the curtains, the wizard of replay, Ben Beals, back in our Beals Insurance Studios. From my partner, executive producer Steve Beals, my name is Nick Anastas saying so long. Final score, final time, Pinkerton 42, Londonderry 7. It's been a presentation of the 2024 NHIAA Division I football.